All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. This is our 9th session.
Wow.
Ryan, I'll go pretty in depth to try and get you back up to speed from where you last left off and where we are now. So, since the last time you were playing Raya, we had just left Avalon, and John was dealing with kind of like the emotional damage of finding out that he used to be a real person, basically getting the confirmation of what he had
From the
feared,
supercomputer?
and that he was the brother of Rejuvenor Tohaak, the individual you guys had been searching for. So he was kind of in a depressive state while you guys were on the ship. He did a little bit of research on Verces, but he's kind of distracted, and even spent some time with Shanti trying to help with the grenade throwing, but you could tell that John's heart wasn't really in it. In fact, he even said he couldn't teach Shanti anything more, despite zero improvement on Shanti's part aside from his trash-talking game. Raya, you had spent a little bit of time trying to help John. You had done research on whether or not you could reverse the soul being put into a robotic body, which the only real roadblocks you started to run into is kind of like when you guys have researched on soul surgery to begin with, is it's kind of a taboo concept to start with. And once you kind of hit that roadblock, you'd switch gears trying to see if there's a way to unlock John's memories, at which point you'd found that higher level mystics are actually able to do some memory manipulation type stuff. So you knew there was at least a light at the end of the tunnel. It just wasn't necessarily anything within reach at the moment. Shortly into your guys' trip, so about halfway, you guys had encountered some Eoxian Death Head Necrogliders, which had attacked you guys on sight. So you started into some starship combat, at which point, at no point was there any real threat to the OMAG, but it did take you guys a little bit of time to dismantle these ships. Right.
Those are the insect type ships, right?
No, those are like your undead, so they're like
that's right.
ships.
That's right.
Following the destruction of these 3 ships, I can't remember if it was Raya or Sparks had kind of been privy to the fact that these were like short interceptor type ships, and was expecting a larger ship to come. And at the beginning of our last session, that's exactly what had happened, is a larger Eoxian ship had come around one of the asteroids. Luckily, there was a free captain's gargantuan ship called the Asteroid that had also come into the sector of space right at that moment. The Asteroid was actually the flagship of the free captains, led by Levada Asteroid Notley,
This shit, dude.
which used to be a lieutenant to Captain Shanti back in his days when he was still part of the Free Captains.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was some playful banter back and forth where Shanti kind of alluded to he never thought she would amount to anything, despite the fact that she was now the leader of the Free Captains, and that he considered himself to be on equal standing with her.
Okay.
They had engaged with the Eoxian vessel, at which point the OBAG did a decent opening volley, and then the Asteroid had used its one weapon and basically obliterated it in a single shot, doing
up like
about
the
3
Death Star.
times overkill damage on it.
Oh, dude, it was wild. Our ship means nothing to what they got, dude.
No.
Meta-wise, what it was is you guys had encountered a level 5 ship. The ship that came in from the Free Captains was a level 12 one, and it one-shotted, doing about 3 or 4 times the amount of damage required to kill it.
So are we, like, should I just throw this? So
No,
does
you...
this mean nothing?
we were... They were attacking on our side, so we were ultimately safe, but...
Following the combats, she had invited T to come over and kind of discuss the terms of him coming back to the Free Captains.
Because once you win, you ain't out.
Apparently.
The best part of this whole interaction was we got some back history on Shanti and why he had left the Free Captains. So yes, he had went to join with Besmara, but during one of his previous encounters as a intimidation tactic, he had activated the self-destruct of his own vessel, the Conquistador. And when they didn't back down, he committed to the bit and destroyed his own vessel.
He committed to the bit.
And like you just like screwed it away after that.
Yeah.
You just as like fake your own death almost, you know.
More or less. But the hole in that story is that the captain that we were currently talking to was also on that vessel. So like,
Right.
you know, there was no like.
She kind of called him out on it. Wouldn't have been her decision to activate the self-destruct, but it worked for him. Following this banter, T had basically effectively said that he would join the Free Captains with the understanding that they're not committed to being called upon by the Free Captains regularly, and it was kind of come as you go.
I will say, like, it was a pretty playful conversation, but it was definitely the type of conversation where thugs walk into a store and they're like, "Hey, you gonna pay for our protection?" It was that kind.
I leave you guys alone for one.
You know what I mean? Like,
One night.
she's like, "I don't want you to be an enemy. Will you still be in the club?" Type of conversation.
She was kind of implying that while she knows that the OMAG is T's ship and she would never attack it, if he's not flying the Free Captains, that doesn't mean another Free Captain's vessel wouldn't attack it on sight.
So she's
Kind of like what you guys had encountered before when a Free Captain's vessel had encountered you. It attacked without any sort of second guessing of who was in charge of the ship.
But now we have to fly around the universe with a big old Free Captain's logo on the side of our ship. Or flag.
The banter
they
was
branded us, is what they did.
sort of.
They
We-
branded
We
us.
now have the resources of the Free Captains, so I mean that's a thing.
So the knowledge base there, the Free Captains had even implied that they actively worked with the Pact World Council. So there's a open line of commerce between the Free Captains and the Pact World Council. Just it's a kind of like under the table sort of dealing and not public knowledge. The benefit of this did mean that the asteroid escorted you guys to Verces so that you didn't have to worry about any additional starship combat for the rest of the duration. The banter also alluded to maybe a previous relationship or a fling between T and Levada, which John had been super interested in, but didn't press it too much. Once they arrived on Verces, kind of like we had discussed before, Verces being the tidally locked planet that it was, you could see a raging desert on one side and a barren ice ocean side on the other, and then a very thin ring around the planet of like livable
Habitable
space.
zone.
As you guys had landed on the Aurora Atoll, you would notice that there was a lot of beach houses along this little island that seemed to be abandoned. But the actual mansion was a kind of like a teal blue sort of brick. It had a bunch of like hedges that were well kept up. The mansion itself was well maintained. And one of the hedges in particular was a nyack, which had been identified as a petrosaur, so like a pterodactyl looking creature that has like cilia as its like head. So instead of like a pterodactyl head, it's like this kind of like neck that ends in like cilia to like sense heat and those types of things.
The Last of Us creature.
As the party had kind of like exited the ship, they were greeted by Gideon Solara, who was the butler for the Tohaak estate, who greeted John as Michael as soon as he walked
Master
out.
Michael.
So implying that Gideon was privy to the fact that John was indeed Tohaak's brother and may know more than what John knows of himself. He had invited the party into the mansion and basically set them up in the den while the servants and like wait staff had created dinner and everything. The party was given beverages unique to the atoll. There was a whiskey made from the lagunta, which is like the wheat that kind of grows along the banks of the lagoon. And then there was a frostberry lemonade and like wine, which is berries from like the frozen part of the island. The party immediately was starting to ask questions about what's going on, what they were seeing in the room. They could see the Tohaak crest up on the wall, which had a nyack on it. So they could clearly see that it was a white creature with like black blood veins that could be seen on it. John had also looked at a lot of the portraits, trying to pick up on anything there, even scanning the author's like signature on the paintings to see if there was any connection there. He didn't get anything at the moment, but he has it in his databanks. And he kind of analyzed some of the main painting in there, seeing that there was like the old style oil painting where it's like mother, father, and then the two boys beneath them.
So did you see yourself in human form?
Yeah.
But so he's not John or Michael wasn't a human. He was a Verthani, which looks a lot, which is a humanoid creature that has slightly longer arms and legs, and then it's kind of like the rat eyes, where they're black and beady and kind of like protrude a little bit.
Is that what his whole family looks like?
Yeah.
Right? Is that your species?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
When they started asking Gideon questions about what had happened on it, Gideon basically corroborated a lot of the information about when Rejuvenor had come back, when he had left, the information on whether or not where all the people had gone. It was confirmed that all the beach houses used to be inhabited by members of the Tohaak family, which had all died of the void decay. The only remaining members of the Tohaak family were John and his brother Rejuvenor. After this, Gideon had gone into the dining facility to kind of like put in the dinner request and the drink orders. And when he came back with the drinks, he had a letter from Rejuvenor, which Rejuvenor essentially said that he regrets not being able to do more with John, but he had gotten a message after they come back to the atoll implying that there was a looming threat coming to the Pact Worlds that he had to prep for. So he spent the remainder of his time in the cove prepping for whatever this threat was. He also told John that he would be willing to give him the title of Baron, since he is actually the older brother and it is his birthright. The only reason why he had taken the title of Baron was so that he could make the ends meet for what his plan was
all his machinations
to confront whatever this threat was. And his last request and his last attempt to bring forth all of John's memories was to have him go into the cove and face this one final trial. And even basically said that he still cared deeply about Michael, and that he hopes that he would be joined by Michael shortly on the front lines as brothers in arms.
So wait, are there three? Is it Tohaak, Rejuvenor, and Michael?
No.
Tohaak is their last name, so that's a family name.
Yeah, Tohaak's the last name.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's
Rejuvenor, Tohaak.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would be.
I was like, oh my god, there's like 4 characters. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
Okay,
So
so-
it's John or Michael Tohaak.
Yeah. So he's technically alive?
Tohaak or Rejuvenor?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy who we've been trying to track
Yeah.
down this whole time.
Okay.
So
he's
you
technically
guys are
alive.
closing in on the trail. So
Yeah, we're closing.
it's if our
I just can't wait to see what's at the end of this goddamn fucking cove.
So they had dinner following this kind of like revelation, and John obviously was worked up. He had downed his drink immediately after being given the news, and kind of got some insight from T that, and T's kind of unique way of saying, whatever decision you make it yours. So John had essentially said, how do I know I'm going to make the right decision in relation to my brother? And T had said, you'll make the right decision because you made it, essentially.
Wise words.
Following dinner, which was a spread of sort of food unique to the Verthani Verses planet, there was a lizard from like the desert side, some more of the Frost's main wine and that type of stuff. There were some vegetables unique to the planet and everything. the party had then decided to go down to the cove. When they got to the outside of the cove, they had seen that it was how Rejuvenor had alluded to it in his letter, was that this was a cove that John or Michael and him used to play in as kids. So on the outside of the cave, there was like markings, like childlike writing, where it's like Pirate Cove, enemies beware, do not enter sort of stuff. But it was like playful sort of things. As they had entered into the cove, they had perceived a carcass of what ended up being a Foldo, which is a squid-like creature that tends to like guard lagoons and everything. Most of them had been tamed by the Verthani on the planet, and this one was starting to decay. T wasn't able to ascertain why the creature had died, but the party became pretty familiar with what likely happened shortly after, because there had been some bubbling in the sort of river that runs up into the cove. As they had started kind of poking at the bubbles, a mechanical android Foldo had popped out of the water, implying that the Foldo at the entrance had been converted to an android.
Yeah.
So is it this one right here?
That's kind of like a bridge.
Yeah, it's a bridge. So the red dot is where the Foldo came out of the water.
So is it to assume that the Foldo that was dead is this creature? So
I thought there was the dead one, and then this one also was.
That's the carcass.
So
I guess I didn't explain it enough. The carcass at the front was the
is-
living creature that had been converted into the android.
Maybe
you guys
this is a
fought.
bit metagamey, but is there a potential that Michael's corpse is still like around?
Michael's corpse was suffering from void decay, so his body was disappearing.
That's the whole reason why.
They removed him, yeah.
Okay.
They encountered this Foldo that had instigated a bit of combat, but as soon as the Foldo had popped out of the water, we had rolled a mysticism check for John, who
Dude, I failed atrociously.
John had got an inclination that he recognized this creature. As combat kind of pursued, there was a couple more mysticism checks, and as the creature was being pulled to its death with T's newfound spell power, John had finally succeeded on a mysticism check with some mentoring from T, basically telling him it's like an out of body, you're connecting your soul to it, sort of thing.
What's a
John-
robot supposed to do with that?
John had got a memory
Wi-Fi.
of Verthani playing in the lagoon, and this Foldo basically like holding out its tentacles, lifting them up so they could jump into the water. And John realized that this Foldo had been a childhood friend of theirs.
Oh my god.
Using this information, he basically convinced T to undo the spell, or attempt to undo it. We were having some rough rolls right there at the end. And they healed the Foldo, who then had went back out into the deeper part of the lagoon, which is where we pick up now. Just short of the bridge there, you guys have just taken care of the Foldo.
So, real quick, a folder is like squid-like.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a in between, I guess, a squid and octopus as far as limbs. So there's 7 limbs, 2 of which have stingers on the end. So if you recall the medicine check, it essentially said that a Foldo will attempt to sting first to incapacitate, and then it will squeeze its target to death.
Gotcha. I'll just like, even though I kind of had like a confirmation that this Foldo is one that I strangely recognize, I'm just going to do just like a quick 3D scan of it to sort of store in the data banks.
Okay.
So I'll just kind of
Give me a physical science roll to see how well you get this, because it's on its way out. So
Okay.
it's actually underwater at the moment,
Okay.
making its way out to the lagoon.
Physical science is one of my things.
You want this one next to you?
That's okay. Well, maybe. That's going to be a 15.
Okay. So we'll say that you got a pretty good scan. The thing that's awkward about this particular photo is kind of like we alluded to. It is now an android, So it kind of falls into the same category that John himself falls into, where it's like a organic robotic hybrid. So it has some benefits of being robotic, but it also has some downsides. So basically, things that affect robots affect it, and things that affect organic affect it as well. So like it kind of gets the worst side as far as any gray area type.
Yeah. As I'm standing it, my internal monologue I'll just be like, I wonder if this will be what death is like for me. So I look down to the rest of the coat. Like, can we see the I guess the backside, or does it continue in further?
Yeah, so it continues in further. So what you're seeing, the end right there is about where it starts to widen out into, like, I would say a pond, but it's like the end of the river.
Gotcha.
So like you can almost see the far riverbank, but it's still, I mean, that's what, 100.
At least 60.
Yeah, 60 plus feet. So it's like just at the edge of like your vision, as far as like the far end of the cove. You do see the bridge right there that kind of allows you to cross each side. I guess, Raya, to kind of give you a fill in, the river is deep enough that if you were to get into it, you would have to swim. So like, while you could jump in the river, you would then be swimming. So if any combat or anything like that would begin, you have that sort of hurdle to go overcome as well.
Okay.
I'll just put my hand up on what would you say, like, what's the moisture level inside this little tunnel? Pretty damp.
It's a river.
Yeah, so yeah, because
Cave?
it's a cave, so it's a little bit cooler than the outside. So like I think we described the atoll was like 70s,
Okay.
bright and sunny whenever you guys had landed. So the cove, I would say, is probably like mid to low 60s.
Okay.
There's I would say that it's saturation point, so there's like a little bit of moisture on the rock walls.
I'll put my hand up on the wall as I look back towards the rest of the way down. I am not sure how to feel about what we may find. Something makes me feel a little weird.
Can you think of anything that might be further up ahead that we should know about that you could remember, maybe?
Give me a mysticism check.
Not good. Can you hand me a d20?
You got what, a -2 right now?
Yeah, -2.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm not.
Which is why he was having issues.
Oh.
Is that a nat 20?
It's a 5.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I know, -2. It's a dirty one.
Dirty one. So you rolled 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My head will spark or something when I try.
Yeah.
to
So
think.
Raya like starting to question you as you're like having this deep confrontation of like, I don't know what we're gonna find. This was unsettling with this connection to the photo that I just had.
Yeah, like I'll try to remember, and like something short circuits and I go ow ow ow. That might leave a mark. You sort of get the sense that John isn't going to continue forward until the group collectively moves. He seems to be, you know.
I'm not sure exactly what we'll find, but it is a step that needs to be taken. We're here for you.
And then he'll just proceed to take the first step.
Okay.
Can my plasma rifle have like a cool Halo 2 flashlight on it?
You gotta hit the white button on the
Yeah, I was about to say, is there like a white button on my gun that allows me to turn on the flashlight? Okay, this is mostly for a bit. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. I will say, the gun doesn't have it, but because you have low light and I think dark vision, I'm gonna say it's your eyes that do it.
Okay, so I was just like, okay, cool. Yeah, I just project a beam.
Better-wise, no one else gets the benefit of it. But
Okay, alright, that's right. Yeah.
Just
it's just flavor for John. Also, meta-wise, Tusuke stayed on the ship with Agnes. Agnes had requested her assistance with something that you guys aren't. Aside from that, she's staying to help Agnes with something that's as far as the party's aware. So the only additional member you have with you currently is Sparks.
And Tuesday is the Dal that we picked up on Avalon?
That was infected with nanocytes.
That's right.
Are they here with us right now?
She's back
Tuesday's on the
On the
ship.
back. Okay,
Sparks
okay,
is with
okay,
you in the
okay,
cove.
okay.
Just so you're not expecting an extra person for any potential combat in the cave.
Okay.
As T begins to march forward, I'll lag behind and go up into the rear, just to sort of like.
And feel free to move as far up as you want into the cave. Once you guys pass through the bridge, so if you want to set where you are past the bridge.
So I need a little bit of meta discussion, just what your guys' capabilities are. Like, what do you guys have for bonuses to unarmed strikes?
Well, I'm kind of like
John should have a decent one.
I'm a fighter essentially. I don't know what. Hold on. Do I have an unarmed strike?
Yeah.
So I have a +6 to my unarmed strike, but it's a D3 +6. So it's like my boomer rifle definitely is more damage.
Okay. Well, I picked up a spell.
How do I know that?
I might have written it on there, but it would be on your. Essentially, it's a 1d3 plus your strength modifier.
Is there unarmed strike right here?
So +3.
Yeah. Okay. So
But yours is going to be. It should be.
Oh right,
plus-
because you just leveled up.
+4, I think now. But
well, regardless,
John's got the.
Yeah,
Clear.
higher
I picked
strength.
up a spell called Terran Form. But it powers up your unarmed attacks and gives you a +2 to AC for 1 round.
How does it boost my damage or to hit?
Well, it increases your damage by 1 and 1/2 times your character level, and it adds that
1.5.
to the damage dealt to your.
So in that
What's
case, it's going to be.
three?
It'd be 6
6.
because you guys are level 4.
Okay, so it'd be 1d3 +12 to damage.
Yeah, and then you get a +2 to AC. I mean, you gain a +2 circumstance bonus to your AC against bull rush, reposition, and trip combat maneuvers.
Average of a d3 is 2. 2 + 12 is 14.
So just a defensive
So-
buff and offensive little burst.
3, 4, 8. So technically, on average, my unarmed strikes should do more damage than my boomer rifle.
The only caveat, though, is that it lasts for 1 round. So
Oh,
if
hell.
I give it to you, that's what your turn has to be. Or
Gotcha.
just continue your turn and just gain the defensive benefits.
What does it look like when you cast it?
I don't know yet.
Speaking of this, while we're talking meta-wise, you guys have taken a 10-minute rest. So if you're wanting to heal any, you can spend a resolve point for that 10 minutes that Shanti used to cast his spell.
I'll be good. I'm at 30.
But you get all of your stamina points back by spending 1 resolve point. So you don't necessarily need to. As far as spell slots and your hit points go, though, you do not regain any of those unless it's a full night's rest. So any spells that were consumed last session or any HP that you lost, which I don't think either of you did, but I know T used some spells, those have not regened.
Well, I didn't take any.
I don't think you took any. I think the only person, if I recall correctly, John was the only one that took any damage.
Yeah.
Which is a decent amount, but it was only into his stamina, so I think he still had like 30-ish left as far as stamina was
Oh
concerned.
wait, yeah. Actually, I didn't. So yeah, 15 is my stamina right now, and I can spend 1 resolve point.
To regen all your stamina points.
Okay, I'll take advantage of that. Actually, can you hand me a marker?
You're closest.
Oh, they're right here.
As you guys are moving up into the cave there. As you pass the bridge, please give me a perception check.
Do you think it's advantageous to split the party on either side of the walkway, or should we just stay as a group?
I think it's mostly beneficial to stay together.
Okay.
We're all ranged, so I don't think it necessarily matters.
I'm going to opt out of this check. I'm a little too preoccupied.
I have a 3.
I also have a
Three.
-2 to perception, so it wouldn't help either way.
Perception. That is a 28.
Dang.
Dang.
Nice. DC was 21.
Oh, okay.
T, as you're looking up further along, you will see a pressure pad on both sides of the walkway here. And a laser trap.
What?
Just read
Right
back
there.
up.
So you just like...
Well, the bigger thing would have been the pressure pad, so you're
Right.
fine there.
So is it assumed that the pressure pad would have activated the
Yes.
laser trap?
So essentially, you've recognized that the pressure pad will activate a laser trap. There is a access panel. Right here and right here that you could potentially use to disable said trap. Wait.
Blow some dust, dude. The laser.
Okay.
So to describe, it's essentially, it looks kind of like a video, like a camera.
Oh,
So it's
I
like
see.
a little gray sort of thing that's up on the wall that's pointing down.
Oh, okay.
Like a
But it's
laser gun.
not like an actual laser, but
Like
it
in a
will
spy
shoot
movie.
It will shoot a laser.
Oh, see, I thought it was like some spy movies in the hall, you know?
Spray the dust.
I'm like, what's the point to do? What?
That's why I said that, sorry.
No, it made sense. Like, when I was trying to, like, oh god, I didn't describe this well enough.
It's gonna be our motto from now on.
Spray the dust, Revengers.
I forgot about the Revengers part.
Yeah, I
I'm
did
sorry,
too.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, tease.
Be careful where you step. There's a pressure plate on both sides. It looks like it might shoot a laser down at us. There are control panels where... John, if you wouldn't mind.
Of course. And I'll just kind of... And I'll go, hey there, baby. And I'll kind of curly cue on the control panel and kind of like bop it with my elbow to sort of pop it open, you know?
Okay, yeah. So you'll see like the panel, like the rock kind of like pushes in and then shifts sideways, and then it reveals like the actual electronic piece there.
Okay. And I'll just kind of do some R2-D2 shit.
Yep. Give me an engineering check.
Okay. Engineering +8. Oh, that's going to be a 25.
Oh, nice. You have successfully disabled the laser trap on this side.
I don't know how pertinent it will be, but there is one on the other side as well. We may, if we run into more encounters, we could use that other trap as, well, for its designed purpose. But that
Okay.
could be risky.
As long as we don't split up.
Well, I mean, it is on the other side of the room.
Is the control panel? Is it?
It's specific for
Yeah,
that
the
laser
laser?
trap.
There's another one on this side.
Well, I was just wondering, like this pressure plate, is that associated with the activation of the laser, or is that a separate trap?
Whether or not T shared it with you, T would be privy to, yes, the pressure pad is designed to activate that specific laser trap.
Gotcha.
So it's everything is one circuit for this side of the
I see.
path.
To be cautious, would there be like a stone or something on the ground that could be thrown?
If you like, yes, you could throw a stone.
I'm gonna try to chuck a stone onto the pressure plate to make sure it's deactivated.
Would it be heavy enough though? I mean, we would have to chuck
Here.
something heavy.
I'll just remove my robotic arm.
Steve will just he'll kind of look inquisitively for a second and then
Is it moving?
Yeah, the
Like,
finger's kind of like
holding
diddly diddly dee.
Then I'll just kind of unceremoniously, like Iron Giant style, toss it on the ground so you can like crawl your fingers over
Oh,
to it.
sure. Okay. Alright.
For flavor's sake, we'll say that yes, John is able to.
Okay.
I want to say there
Adam's
is.
family style.
Yeah.
I want to say there's like an actual like upgrade that you could do to like actually make it move like a drone, but
Oh.
but flavors
Okay.
wise,
And AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Wi-Fi.
as John's
Bluetooth.
sentient hand walks up onto the pressure plate here, you see the pressure plate like sink in and like a little bit of dust poof out.
Oh, I
And
found
then-
your dust.
And nothing
You're
happens.
never gonna live that out.
That's
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Sorry, I didn't mean to touch that.
No, that was perfect.
Well, now that we... Oh, sorry, it's just attaching my arm.
I think that it might be best if we leave the other trap how it is.
I agree.
If for whatever reason
We feel like activating it on ourselves on the way out.
that and or if things don't go well with your brother, I want to leave this place relatively untouched.
Right.
Do you think there's a chance that it might go wrong? Wait, what if this is a trap?
We've talked.
What if they want John down here?
Well, that was. We had little conversations about that on the way here.
Oh,
Like-
okay.
Like,
Yeah, I was gonna
T-
say there's some
T
additional
had brought up,
stuff that I missed.
no, that's okay. T had brought up the idea that, like, if we are able to restore John, like, what path is he going to take?
Oh, okay.
T had also alluded to what if the threat that Rejuvenor is referencing is the Pact World Council and specifically your guys' task force that's actively hunting him, and what that implication would be. So there was concerns going into the cove, but it was ultimately decided the information in the cove was more valuable than not going.
Then what it could imply. Yeah.
Sorry, I completely forgot about that.
That's okay.
That's fine.
Okay, so are we gonna...
I think we're gonna keep moving forward.
Yeah.
And then are you still in the back?
Yeah, yes. I'll stay in the
Yeah,
back.
and yeah, I would say Sparks is
Are
kind
we
of
doing
hanging
like
back.
a map flip?
I'll draw it out
Oh.
after I. So I'm gonna, as we move in, there's nothing else until you guys get into the main area of the cove. So I'm gonna describe that.
Okay.
We'll take a quick break at that point, recharge. I'll draw out the last bit of the map here, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Before we erase this, since we haven't met the thing, and since we're by ourselves, I'm gonna sneak up next to Shanti and just start to, like, whisper to, like, what if John turns on us? Like, what if his brother makes him turn on us?
I have an idea. I want
Okay.
you to try to slyly speak to John
Pulls out a
in
club.
a way where you can maybe find
Trauma.
his on-off switch. If he has, maybe we could talk to the AI in the ship and see if maybe she has a user interface manual or something. I don't know.
You're gonna use my girlfriend to get to me?
Are we... Is this your only plan?
like my girlfriend.
Well, you're coming to me asking for a plan, so I assume you don't have one either.
That's fair. That's fair. I shake my head.
As
and
of
just-
right now, I think I can take John.
I just roll my eyes and slowly start to back away, fall back in line the way I was.
God, it just reminds me of the first session.
Yeah.
T, where he like, don't worry, he only broke my jaw.
Yeah.
Oh man! As you guys enter into the main area of the cove, you'll see the river comes up to a nice little beach. So you kind of like it spreads out, and then you see a little beachhead up there. Along the back walls, there's several workstations and computer consoles. You can even see in one section there's a holo projector with a note on it that says "For Michael." We'll leave it there. For
Oh
the
my
moment.
god! Okay.
I got to redraw the map,
Okay.
and then we'll kind of
So
go
like,
from there.
in my head right now, I'm kind of like imagining like the Batcave a little bit.
Anyways, as you guys get to the end of the cove here, the purple little boxes those are the consoles there. The red circle is the holo projector in the center of the room that's got the note that says "For Michael" on it.
We should take a look around before we address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
Is there dust on the computers and stuff?
Would we say it was 3 months or 2 months?
Something like that.
So, something in that ballpark. So it's however much you would kind of expect to accumulate in that time period. So no one's been here since, based off of your analyzing of the room, there's nothing to indicate that anybody's been here since Rejuvenor left.
I forget. Are you a computers person?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Maybe you should see if you can, I don't know, hack into the system or whatever they say.
Do you want to look at the message first? I mean, the computer will probably recognize you right away.
Yeah, sure, yeah, okay, I'll read the note. I'll, slowly go over to the thing.
Because you know me too well. As you approach the holo projector, an android Nyack will drop from the ceiling onto it. This is not exactly, it is a large creature. So standing on top of that, so it's going to take up the 4 squares, is the Nyack, which is that pterodactyl sort of creature.
Is that what it looks like for real?
No.
Oh.
It's close. That was the closest one I had. So it's a white sort of winged beast with a head that's got cilia on it. You guys would all recognize this from the paintings and images you've seen inside the mansion. You can see the veins of blood along its body. There's no discernible eyes, but there is a mane of cilia on its head. Like the photo before, you can see that the body is actually a metallic synthesized skin versus actual skin.
Okay.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
John, tell me that you know this person or
John, give me a mysticism check.
Oh, for fuck's sake, dude. I got 1s and 0!
What'd you get?
Another dirty one.
Do you want to trade?
Yes.
And meta-wise, like we've talked about before, you guys are allowed to push rolls.
There's no reality where I succeed in this ability check.
As of right now, John, whether it be just because it was unexpected or you're kind of still flipping through what just happened with the Foldo, you're just going, there's a fucking pterodactyl on this console. In fact, you hear Sparks behind you go, "Hey, John, look, it's a dinosaur."
Does it look aggressive?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, are we about to roll initiative?
I just picture dial-up sounds.
Yeah.
Please roll initiative.
Oh, okay. All right. Where did my cellular device go?
I stole the black. Oh, love that for myself.
Sounds like you rolled awesome.
Oh, I love that for myself. I have a feat that gives me more bonus to
did it
initiative.
not go well?
Right in the middle.
No.
Let me roll for Sparks real quick.
Okay.
We gotta bring a little cooler next time.
I know, right? Oh, that's actually a good idea.
Okay. Well, it's everybody got.
A 4.
Do you not have bonus to initiative?
Actually, I thought about it. Intelligence.
I have.
It's up at the top of your character sheet.
I have
Just a
7.
bump.
3.
So you got a 7?
I have a 7.
Yeah, with a +5.
I have a 12.
You got a 12. What'd you get, Shanti?
7.
Oh, so you got Who's got the higher dex?
I have a 12.
16.
Okay, so
It's already
Ryan
break
and
ties.
Jim T.
Oh,
Because
okay.
you're like technically more nimble.
Okay, so we're gonna have the Nyack at the top of the round. Before we start, is everybody comfortable with where their current position is on the map?
Makes sense.
For meta purposes, I'm going to stay where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so it's gonna be the Nyack, followed by John, followed by Sparks, then Raya, and then T breaking up the rear. The Nyack is with John right there on top of it, is going to attack with its feeding lance.
Feeding lance.
That's a 29 to hit.
Holy
Jesus.
cannoli. Yeah, that hits.
Okay, give me a fortitude save.
Okay. Wait, where's the saves out of in?
There's only 3 of them. It's right below your KAC and EAC. I don't know
Oh,
where
hold
it's at on your phone.
Oh, wait, hold on. Alright, so what was the save again?
Fortitude.
Hey, plus 6. 16.
Perfect. No negative effects from this, but you are going to take 15. Does it pierce?
And that goes, my stamina goes down first before
Yes,
that, right?
stamina first. So yeah, you'll take 15 piercing.
Damn!
That will be its turn. So that brings us to John.
Okay. Okay, so it tried to wrap me up temporarily for its little strike.
Basically, it's like this sort of almost like a tongue coming out of so it's like the cilia part, and you can see there's this open gaping mouth
Okay.
that has I wouldn't say predator, but sort of predator where the tongue flicks out and it jabbed in.
Okay. So, for my retaliation,
If anybody would like to give a life science to kind of remember,
Yeah, I'll try that.
I'm going to say I'm
I have
spooked.
super high life science, so
And I'm not thinking about.
the 3.
10.
since you had already rolled pretty high before, T, this is kind of just kickstarting the memory as you're watching this happen to John. The Nyack will inject a Nyack virus into any prey that, if they don't pass, in this case, meta-wise, if they don't pass the save, they will go down a poison track that eventually leads to them being basically immobilized, and then the Nyack feeds off of the blood of this immobile target, kind of keeping them alive indefinitely, but feeding off the blood, because the virus creates a euphoric state that feeds off the euphoric infused blood. So that's what the feeding lance is trying to do. So it's it's almost like a hummingbird sort of thing where it sticks in and then sucks out.
Okay. So, out of curiosity, is there penalties for using ranged weapons within melee? I forget.
Only if you're targeting something other than the one in front of you. So if you were
Oh, so if I shoot him, no disadvantage.
no disadvantage if you're shooting him. If you were to shoot something behind him or somewhere else, that would cause a opportunity attack.
Okay, so I'll do a full attack, right? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Okay.
What is the condition called? That what is it specified as?
It's an infection. So it would be, as far as meta-wise, it would be considered a disease. So I think you have something for that.
Yes. I can remove the
effect.
disease, but it doesn't cure. Wait. If the condition is the result of a disease or another ongoing effect, the spell removes the condition but does not cure the disease or ongoing effect.
Oh, okay, so
I basically cure you of your immediate symptoms or make it stop from getting worse.
Gotcha.
But it doesn't cure you.
yeah, it keeps the herpes away, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Shitty spell.
I'll do a full attack, and that's a -4, right?
Yes.
But John doesn't have any blood or anything.
He,
But I'm an android, so I'm like,
he
Unfortunately, how the android works meta-wise is whatever is worse for him as far as combat's concerned, it takes effect. So if it affects a human,
it affects
it
me.
affects him.
It affects a
If
robot.
it affects him. So, like,
Yeah.
unfortunately, he gets the worst of both.
So, I'll do a full attack, and my first shot, I want to grab the tongue before it retracts and just, like, fire my boomer rifle from my hip, you know?
Okay.
That doesn't count. To hit, that's gonna be... Oh, not good. 10.
10 does not hit.
Okay. I let go of the tongue, grab my boomer rifle to get a bit of a better steady aim, and shot. Oh my fuck. 7?
7 does not hit.
So innocently.
Yeah, I'll just like shoot up towards the ceiling. Being a little surprised by the creature is still got me a little rattled. So, that's it for me. Yep, that's my turn. I'll just stay where I'm at.
Perfect. Well, I say perfect. It's a solid 10. Sparks is going to start using... where is Sparks?
Right here.
Yeah, well, she's going to consume her move action to use her get him ability.
This.
She's going to point at the Nyack until the start of her next turn. You guys will get +1 to attack rolls made against the Nyack.
Nice.
Is that starting immediately, or will
Yeah.
that? Okay.
And that applies to her as well. So she's then going to whip up her sonic pistol and make an attack with that. Which will miss. And that will be Spark's turn, which brings us to Raya. So Raya, as we just discussed, this is an android, so it counts as both human and robotic. So when you're looking at your spells and abilities, if it affects a robot, it takes effect. If it affects a human, it will also take effect.
Okay. Can you remind me? I put down for one of my spells. It's a directed denial of strength.
Oh, is that your new?
Yeah, that's my new one.
Please.
I'm pretty sure I'm able to like lessen their attack.
Ooh. Yeah, let me go, because I think we saved I copied Riot, so I should be able to say what things you took.
Pepper, do you want a beer?
Sure.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm good. I'm still
Let's see
sick on that.
yours.
I
I've got a...
may want to argue
Class
my
one.
case a little bit here with Mind Thrust.
But hold on, they're resolving something real
Okay,
quick.
go ahead.
But if you're asking whether or not it takes effect, it would, because this counts as an android, which
Okay,
mental abilities take effect.
Gotcha.
If that's what you were going to...
That is what I was getting at.
Okay, you said it was... what was it?
Denial of strength?
Directed denial of strength.
Okay. So what this reads is you flood target's mind with a magical effect similar to a computer virus that duplicates every sensation of lifting, carrying, and being burdened. Targets become encumbered, or they become overburdened if already encumbered. What that will do is it will give... If it costs a standard action, and it can attempt a will save to avoid it. Otherwise, it becomes encumbered. As far as conditions go,
Reduced movement or something?
yeah, I'm trying to remember. Let me find the.
I'm trying to limit the
conditions.
us getting poisoned by it.
So
Or
encumbered.
strangled?
What it's going to do is it's going to reduce its speed by 10 feet. It would make its max dex bonus reduced by 2, and it's so the dex bonus it gets from its armor class is reduced by 2. So essentially, you're going to lower its armor class
Cool.
based off of dex.
Cool.
and it takes a -5 penalty to strength and dex-based checks. So it's a pretty good one to apply.
Yeah.
Okay.
So are those those attack rolls don't necessarily construe as ability checks, right?
You're talking the strength and dex?
Yeah.
That would be checks, like
Right, not
to
attacks.
break out of like
I was fishing.
yeah. But the bigger thing is the potential drop in AC due to losing its deck bonus on its armor.
Yeah.
class.
No. It's yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna try and use that spell.
Okay.
What does it look like?
It's 1 round per level.
Oh, I see.
Is that good?
It depends on what level
So
you cast it at.
you would be casting at level 2, so it would be active for 2 rounds.
2 rounds.
Okay.
And it has to pass a Wisdom 16 save. So you would consume one of your level 2 spell slots to cast. So you would mark that you only have 2 remaining, and then I'm going to roll to see if it passes the
Okay.
will.
Okay.
That's a 19. So it passed the will save.
Mother
God,
trucker.
It was
Damn.
it was a very good attempt there.
Oh, that would have been solid,
Okay.
dude.
Would you want to do anything with your move or swift action? So your options there, because I actually wrote these out and then I didn't get a chance to print them, so they're not in your binders like I wanted them to be.
I think I'm able to do just a dueling sword, right?
You just used your action. So your
Oh.
move is movement or one of the other things. Let me pull up I have a Word document I created with. So move actions are crawl, direct or redirect an effect, draw or sheath the weapon, a guarded step, which will give you a bonus. Basically, it allows you to move out of range because you only move, I think, 10 feet, but
Yeah.
it doesn't spark an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
Manipulate an item's move your speed, reload. So there are certain weapons that you have max capacity on, so you do need to reload them, which your boomer rifle might be one of them. Or stand up if you're prone. Your swift actions are to change grips, so that would be like to go from one-handed to two-handed on a weapon, or to drop prone.
I see.
And then you might have other ones depending on your abilities. So some abilities might only cost you a move action, some might only cost you a swift action.
Okay.
But you'd have to look at those particular abilities.
I'm gonna actually move back.
Perfect.
Not that far.
Yeah, and that is a cave wall, so there is no further back
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Cool.
I'm gonna move right there.
and then why I got this pulled up, there are other combat maneuvers available to you. So there's bull rush, dirty trick, disarm, grapple, reposition, sunder, or trip. If you have questions on what those are and how they work, we can go over them. The big thing to keep in mind with those is you're going up against the combat maneuver AC, which is like typically in the 20s.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But that could be like the sunder is you attempt to break their weapon. You can trip them to knock them prone. The bull rush is basically you ram into them and push them backwards, sort of thing. Those are all what those kind of do. And if you're using the app, you can click on them to see the particulars of it. But, Ryan, if that's the end of your turn, that will bring us up to T.
Okay. How many stamina points do you have now that you took to 15?
21 out of 36.
Okay.
I'm pretty fresh.
He's a little bit tanky because of the
Yeah.
soldier build.
Yeah, I got the soldier.
T is going to like really channel his mental power, and that's going to culminate in some purple rays that just shoot from his antennae.
Cool.
And it's just going to like, I don't know if you guys have seen Seven Deadly Sins or not.
No, but I kind of want to watch it.
Yeah, it's on my list.
It's the best kind of trash.
I heard the first season is really good, and then
It
it's like
is.
kind of
It's
dips.
very much the best kind of trash. I'll just say that. But, no, like a giant purple like energy beam just comes from my antennae and then connects with its forehead. I'm going to cast Mind Thrust at
Perfect.
2nd level.
All right,
Oh, dude.
read me
Give
the
me.
things.
Does it have intelligence?
Of course.
No. It's a genuine question. Does it have an intelligence score?
It's a 0, but
Okay,
it's not
it fails.
negative.
Oh shit! It just fails.
Yes. This spell. Actually, no. My spell just fails.
Oh no,
The spell has
dude!
no effect on creatures without an intelligence score.
Oh
No.
shit!
Yeah,
But
Is
it's
it-
not a negative.
Yeah, I was gonna say he would be.
this is up to your interpretation, but that's how it's read.
I'm trying to remember because
It's just average.
a plus 0 means it's like base 10, right? So it has a score of 10.
I thought you meant 0 as in like.
The
Yeah,
score.
yeah, the score
not
is-
the,
the
the
score is
modifier
10.
is 0.
Okay, well
Yeah,
then
sorry,
yes,
yeah.
the spell does take effect.
That's a
Yeah.
smart ass creature. Okay.
But it doesn't.
It literally incapacitates its foes and then like keeps them alive indefinitely, feeding off of them. Like it's
Okay.
got to be smart enough
Yeah,
to
yeah,
know.
yeah,
like,
yeah, you're right, you're right.
Okay,
you're
so
right.
how much does it take?
It does need to make a will save though.
Oh, to potentially have it. Decided to use my Power Ranger ones.
Oh, dude,
That's
I
a
love it.
18.
Passes, but so it's
So
gonna
take half.
take half of 4d10.
4d10.
Nice. Well, it costs him a spell slot. It's a first level spell at least. Or he cast it at second level, but he I think that's your last second level, right?
I have one more. It takes half of 30, so 15.
15. Pretty solid opening there.
And I can't do anything for the rest of my turn. I'm going to keep my position.
Wow,
Good for you, man.
that was cool. Shooting purple beams out of your
I've
head.
had that spell since the first session. It's just
But you know what? It was perfect for this one. This is a good
Well, no,
like, opener.
because he tried to use it a couple times and it was robots.
Oh.
And they didn't have. Yeah.
They're constructed so
That makes sense,
it's
that
an
makes
auto fail. Those ones. Seeing as John is still in range there, it's gonna make an attack with that feeding lance again. That's a 29 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Give me that fortitude save again.
+6. Ooh, nice. 23.
Perfect. So you're gonna take 14 piercing. Also, as it jabs into you again, please give me another mysticism roll. A mysticism check.
There we go.
A nat 20.
Well, technically it's 18, but it's a nat
It's
20.
not 20.
We're gonna say it's a nat 20.
Perfect. As this sort of jabs in, we're gonna say it kind of like hits you in the temple.
Yeah, I had like the Iron Giant moment.
And I have it literally written that you get a flash of a memory.
Yes!
John, you'll see an older Verthani talking to Rejuvenor and yourself.
Okay.
Sons, the Nyack have been kind to our family, but the relationship is built on mutual respect for each other. They feed off the euphoric flavor blood gets when it has been infected with their virus. They do not fatally wound any target, but they will completely incapacitate them. Now, a willing, steady food supply allows you to semi-domesticate the creatures like we have with Gleam Glazer here. As the memory ends.
Is that that?
Gleam Gazer.
That's like the house. What's it called? Pterodactyl? What's it called?
The way this would imply is this is like
The family.
Is this like
I would say
family
it's
pet?
kind of
Yeah.
like a family pet. Give me a
Nyack. That's what it's called?
Nyack.
Nyack.
Give me either a deception or intelligence roll, or whatever the modifier is for deception. Because I want to go like the smuggling, sort of like sketchy back alley sort of stuff, but history you guys don't have, and your profession is general contracting, so it
I
doesn't
don't
really
think
fit.
there is a deception.
Is there not?
Oh, there's bluff. It's bluff.
Bluff. Yeah, give me that one.
Um,
Or just a straight intelligence.
Intelligence might be better, to be honest. Nope. Actually, yeah, I'll go with intelligence. 17.
Perfect. So, as the virus, mention of the virus is mentioned, you are familiar, kind of like with the little bit knowledge of back alley dealings in your databanks, that there is a drug, what is it, Naquatic? Naquia? Basically, it's a drug that induces this type of euphoric state without it being associated with being blood dry.
Right.
The way your father has been talking in this memory implies that your family may have been in a not back alley, but a under the table dealing of selling this
Are they
drug.
drug dealers? You literally work for the cartel.
Hey.
As you're kind of piecing this together between the Lagunta whiskey that you guys produce and
It's all coming together.
your family probably
Cartel.
came into the wealth of the mansion off of these types of dealings.
Off of these vices.
Blood.
Wow.
There's nothing saying that it's necessarily illegal to create the drug. It just obviously you're dealing with a NIAC to
So are
get
they
it.
keeping it hostage in order to produce its...
Well,
Well, they said that it was relatively tamed because
It's
it was
semi-domesticated.
It was given a food source, so it's being semi-domesticated.
It's as cruel as beef farms. Think about it.
Literally.
Which is all,
it's
which is
or
already
like
pretty-
milking a cow.
Right, or like milking a cow.
And then sending it to the slaughterhouse.
Well, you usually don't send your milking cow to the slaughterhouse unless it stops producing milk, because then you
Yeah.
don't have milk.
But I'm saying, at some point...
They just
Yeah.
converted it to an android, so
Anyways, I'll just yell out, "It demands respect."
What does that mean?
all right. That's the end of the NIAC's turn. It is over to you, John, after you've had this sudden revelation.
Okay, I'm gonna have a sort of Jurassic World moment where I'm gonna sling my boomer rifle around my shoulder and just kind of do the whole
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt thing, and I'm just gonna be like, "I am your master." Let's see if that works.
Give me a diplomacy check.
Okay. That's not good. Yeah, 15.
Unfortunately, since you guys have already started to attack and
Yeah.
do damage to the
Oh
creature,
my god.
while this seemed like a pretty smart option, it seems like the memory came just a tad too late.
That's okay, because I have a different plan. I start when I realize that my thing isn't working. I'll look over to Shanti, Plan B, and I'll just start booking it towards what's the movement? My 30 feet.
What's your album?
So I'm just gonna start bonk, 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 bonk. I'm gonna start running towards the trap that we didn't deactivate.
Perfect. It's going to take a opportunity attack.
Yeah, and I'll just say, "Right over here, you weird squid monster."
This is a ranged attack, so it's shooting quills out from the quills on its neck.
Sure.
This thing just gets worse and
That's
worse.
going to be a 35 to hit.
That's a 16 to hit.
Oh, that still hits me. That
Would-
still hits.
would- Oh, both?
Yeah.
Okay.
14 and 16 for my KAC.
Alright, give me that fortitude save again.
10.
You're going to take 15 piercing.
Alright, so the goes down from stamina and bleeds into HP.
Yeah, so once
Okay.
you're out of stamina, now you're consuming HP. You are now on a poison track.
Oh my god.
You, at the current moment, are confused. So I'm going to read this out for you because I don't know if the condition's on there. If it's on there, you can click it so that you have it. You are mentally befuddled and can't act normally. You can't tell the difference between ally and foe unless you treat all creatures as enemies, even your closest friends and family, if applicable. An ally who wishes to cast a beneficial spell on you with a range of touch must succeed at an attack roll against your EAC, since you cannot be considered a willing target. If you are attacked while you're confused, you always attack the creature that last attacked you until the creature is dead or out of sight, unless it is otherwise impossible for you to attack in that round. While confused, you can't make attacks of opportunity against any creature or thing that you aren't already committed to attacking.
That's
If you're not
hilarious.
devoted to attacking a target, will roll a percentile dice on your turn, and that will determine what you do on your turn. So since you are now confused, until something attacks you, you will roll from this table to start your turn.
Okay. I'll just start running and just like how Neji dies in Shippuden, just like splintered in the back. And the way my confusion manifests is my eyes are now glowing an orange light as opposed to
Your normal.
red or whatever. So that sucks.
And how this it's only 1 minute
Okay.
for the poison, but obviously that's 10 rounds
Yeah.
of combat.
Okay.
You will roll the save each time. You need 2 consecutive to
Holy shit.
end the
Okay.
poison.
Okay. Cool.
Oh my god.
So if you, the first one will keep you at the same level.
Mhm.
A fail will drop you.
Gotcha. And
2
then you
consecutive ends it.
Gotcha.
So you could be at the last stage,
And
but
then
roll 2
fuck
consecutive and
everything.
still end
Right.
it.
Okay. Cool. All right. So I still have quite a lot of health left, but I'm at 22. This guy's doing like 15 a hit, so I can probably take another hit and a half.
What's your max HP?
32. So I'm down 10 hit points, but down 36
So
stamina.
I can do one of 2 things. Well, I'll talk about
Yeah,
it
yeah.
later.
That's my turn, DM.
Okay. To start Sparks' turn.
Should have fucking attacked. What was I thinking? I don't know to stop this thing.
I mean, it was a good plan. It was a good plan.
We'll discuss what was fine. Because that would have been the DC if you hadn't attacked it already.
I don't want to hear it. Don't tell me what I could have missed.
Don't tell me what.
Sparks
Don't tell me what I don't know.
is going to do the same thing she did last turn, so she's going to use Get Him on it, so giving everybody +1 on their attack rolls, and then she's going to use her Sonic Pistol on it. Missing. That will bring us to Raya.
Okay. I kind of want to do my spell again, just because. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, it's not a bad call. I mean,
Ooh.
I don't know. I mean, unless if you want to go on the offensive, but debuffs are always good. Make them easier to hit if he fails.
You're next, so.
My entire plan next turn is going to be assisting John so he doesn't.
Yeah, because he's got the mystic healing
Yeah.
stuff. So
Okay.
So I mean, you could either try to coax it to following John because that's what his plan was, or you could just keep DPSing because I mean, either plan I feel like will have the same effect. So. Or you could try to put a status too, because as of right now, dealing 15 a turn and applying statuses is pretty scary. So there's a few things that you might be able to do, but
yeah,
Okay.
that,
to put it in perspective, T's hit. I didn't accurately describe this. It did a sizable chunk
Yeah.
on the creature.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna go with Plasma Claw.
Cool.
Perfect. You've got a plus run on your attack roll from Sparks' ability.
And it's a 1d4.
That's it. That's damage. So there's
sorry.
there should be a plus for
So you have a
your
+6 to hit instead of 5.
Okay.
Right.
yeah. So it's plus
Give me
one
a
from
good
Sparks. It might be higher than that. Let me look because of the level up. Just a sec.
Oh, yeah, I didn't update any of that.
So it's a +7 to hit.
Oh my. +7, so 14.
14 does not.
Oh!
Um,
Oh man.
okay.
You still have a move action and a swift action, or we could retroactively make this a full action. You can attack twice. It means instead of the +7, you would have a +3.
Three.
Okay, let's do a full one.
All right,
why
let's see
not?
it. Come on.
Why not? It has to be what? Well, at least a 15 didn't hit.
At least a 15. It could be higher.
Okay. Ooh. 15 plus 3, so 18.
18 hits.
Oh,
Hey,
okay, there we
let's
go.
Because it's specifically it hits EAC.
Okay.
So energy-based weapons.
Okay.
Okay.
So now damage is 1d4 plus 1
Plus 2.
plus 2. Oh my gosh, my heart's racing.
I was gonna say
Kill him.
this is probably the first encounter where I'm not sure what power threshold it is. So like,
Okay.
well, it's because we haven't played enough of Starfinder, so
It's
like
this one,
I don't know how
1d4.
fucking terrible status conditions are. The poison tracks do seem aggressive, so
No, I'm not.
Oh my god, a 1.
Oh shit.
So that's 1 plus 2, so 3?
3.
Yeah.
You know what? That's 3.
That's alright.
3 we didn't have before.
It's hard to do a lot of damage with the D4.
so you'll see the plasma call strikes true. It digs in and it starts shooting out its like little static electric charge, and the gleam like android gleam gazer, as John now knows its name, seems to take some decent damage off of it, but it's not like nearly as visible
Yeah.
as the strike it took from Shanti.
Okay.
Speaking of which, it is now T's turn.
Can you look up lesser remove condition?
Please.
Because the verbiage on this is super confusing. Because this would fall into its second category of like removing the condition,
Uh-huh.
but not curing the disease. I don't know if that will actually be beneficial.
Function. I want less. Put less. Where's you remove any one of the following conditions affecting the target: shaken, sickened, or staggered.
Oh.
If the condition is a result of a disease or another effect. The only downside here is it specifies shaken, sickened, or staggered. John is currently confused.
Right, but it is it's another
A result of a disease.
It's a result of a disease / ongoing effect, like with his confusion or his poisoning.
Right, but it specifically has to be one of those.
Oh, okay.
So it has to be shaken, sickened, or staggered, and then if it's a result of the disease, it removes the condition but doesn't. So how this would work is if John was on a poison track and he had the sickened, shaken, or staggered, that effect wouldn't affect him, but he would still be on the poison track. So he could still get worse or remove the poison track depending on his role. He just
Right.
doesn't take the effect of shaken, sickened, or staggered.
Gotcha.
So it's still a very good spell. It just so happens the condition he currently has is not one of those ones.
Okay.
I don't need help. I'm fine.
I'm going
I can take at least one more hit.
potentially. Well, so when you go down, is there another death save system like?
It's the resolve points. So you consume a resolve point to stabilize.
You've already used one resolve.
I have
point.
4 more.
So the resolve point will stabilize you and keep you in the fight. So like once you hit 0, you consume a resolve point to not die and regain 1 hit point. And then it takes you
Just
your
one
next
hit
turn
point,
to
though?
actually stand up and... Yes. But that's worst case scenario that John dips into. But once again, that means he has 4
Redo.
consecutive turns of going to 0
Which
before.
could conceivably happen more than once in a turn.
Yeah, I guess if there's like some
No.
kind of multi-attack, some sort of thing.
There is a potential. So that would assume that the single combatant you have has a multi-attack ability, or that the poison track forces him to take damage.
Right.
Now, the current status condition he has does not,
Okay.
and the 2 attacks that you've seen this creature do, neither of which are multi-attacks.
Okay, I'm gonna save my big heal in my pocket so I don't overheal. Sorry, that bunch of.
This is the first time you've actually had to, like, consider
your
using
spell-
HP spells because you target HP and not stamina. So it's kind of fun seeing T actually get to use some of the deeper part of his mystic kit.
Right.
I love the fact that he's showing how much he cares.
He is the captain. He made a point of bringing it up last session.
Yeah. We're gonna pull out my my trick that we used last session.
Swirly durly.
Yeah, the swirly durly. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Perfect.
You just see a bunch of like purple, blackish, like miasmic tentacles shoot up out of the ground, and it's going to grab and puncture this beast.
Perfect.
I'm going to use Verdant Blast.
Perfect. What's the
Cool.
save?
It is a reflex save of 15.
Oh, no, that's for allies.
This thing doesn't look like the squid monsters from the Matrix, does it? Except with mycelia on its head?
So the mycelia aren't that big. So
Oh, okay.
mostly it's a pterodactyl and then a neck.
Oh, shit.
And then the head ends with like it's kind of like an amoeba, or not amoeba, anemone, sort of like at the end of its head.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's a 28 on its
Oh,
reflex
my
save,
God.
Okay, well it's going to take half, and
which should still do some decent if I recall.
a bit ol' like line of vines goes all the way into the corner of the cave, and you see like purple tendrils going up onto the cave wall.
Perfect.
Cool.
But it's going to take half of 3d6.
Perfect.
Okay.
Still decent damage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
decent damage.
That's my last second level spell.
Nice.
So, do you round up or down?
For damage. Half.
We'll round. I'm gonna roll it for you guys. Round up.
6.
Enemy roll it. Round down.
Cool. We get main character perks.
Well, if it failed that save, it would have been
Would have been pretty decent.
Right.
well, not only taking the damage, but also like
Oh yeah, there's a secondary effect to it, isn't there?
it's basically like entangling roots, but like lightning bolts at the same time.
Okay.
That's all I can do, but I will take my movement. I'll go right here.
Okay.
That's my turn.
The Nyack, seeing that it has infected John, is now going to target the closest to it, firing its quill volley at Sparks.
Oh, not the mouse.
My clutch heal is AoE, so well,
Okay.
worst comes to worst.
Oh,
it'll
I
be
think that's
alright.
its first miss. It's a 15 to hit.
Oh, sure. So he misses the character that his wife. I just did it.
It misses the character that's half the size as John, so a smaller
Right.
target.
That's fair. John's
So
a tank, so
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So yeah, it will
That is
miss its quill volley and end its turn. That will bring us back to John. So John, roll me a percentile dice. But 1 to 25, you act normal. 26 to 50, you do nothing. 51 to 75, you'll do 1d8 plus your strength to yourself. 76 to 100, you're going to attack whoever's closest to you.
You're going to have to repeat that when I roll this. 56.
So you're going to roll me a 1d8.
Or is that 65?
No, you rolled the 5 first.
So yeah, so 56.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 56. It honestly 65 would have done the same thing. But anyways, you're going to do 1d8 to yourself plus your strength modifier. So essentially, what happens, John, is in your confused state, you take the butt of your rifle and basically just pop yourself.
Oh,
In the
shit.
face.
Okay.
Does that end his turn too?
Can you hand me a D8? That one.
This one?
Yeah. D8 plus fucking my strength, which is a lot. Sorry, hold on.
I think-
Strength Oh, it's actually only +2.
Yeah, I think you jumped into Dex because you
Yeah,
were
that's
ranged.
right. Yeah, so that's 6 points
So you'll
to
take-
my bod.
Yeah, so you'll take 6 points of bludgeoning.
Okay, I'm still good. I can take at least one more hit. Maybe. I'm just saying stupid, 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 stupid. Movements off the table.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
that table determines what you do. So if you
Oh.
roll 1 to 25, you get to act normal.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. That's it for John.
All right. Sparks is going to do the old rinse and repeat. So +1 to attack rolls for everybody from her get 'em ability. Basically, she's just squeaking, "Get the thing! Get the dinosaur! It's being mean to John!" That's a 17, which will hit.
Nice. Kill him.
Meets it.
Can you imagine if the mouse is the one that kills it?
Right.
As it should.
1d8 plus 2. So she's going to do 5 to it.
No one expects the mouse inquisition.
The Spanish mouse.
Yeah.
It's fucking tail of Despero over here.
Yeah, it should have been on my last ship on the Conquistador.
Yeah. There you go.
Who said she wasn't on your last
Yeah,
ship?
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, it's your turn.
I'm.
And I'm listening. I just.
You know what? I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm going to
Full attack?
shoot. Yeah, I'm gonna do my full attack.
Perfect.
I'm gonna start with my.
So it's a -4 when you do full attack.
-3 because of Sparks buff.
Oh, -3 instead, which isn't bad. I take that risk every turn.
Yeah, that's the way
I do miss, like maybe 4 times out of 10 now. But hey, it's extra damage.
Whenever he does hit, because of his rifle.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna do my dueling sword.
Oh, you're gonna move to melee.
Ooh.
So you can't take a full action if you use your dueling sword because you need.
But I thought you could use a swift action to do something like that, right?
She can switch to her sword, but so a full action consumes standard, move, and swift.
Oh.
So you can
Okay.
only attack.
So can I
okay.
do my plasma sword then?
But the bigger issue is you would have to move into range to use the dueling sword because it's a melee weapon.
So question, hold on, because oh my gosh, please don't do that. So for my plasma class is ammo usage, it's 20 for 2.
So you're consuming 2 out of 20 every attack.
Okay.
So you have 10 attacks before you need to reload.
Okay, perfect then. So can I do my plasma claw twice?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, can I do that instead then?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm just letting you know that if you wanted to use your dueling sword, you wouldn't be able to do a full action. You'd only be able to do 1 attack. Now, if
Okay.
you use your plasma claw, you don't need to move because you have, I think it's 30 range.
20.
And also, as a reminder, on range, it's range increments. So if it's in that first one, it's your standard attack, no penalty. If you go to, so like in that case, it's 30. If you go to 60, you take a -2.
Okay.
If you go to 90, -4, and so on.
Okay, and so on.
So you can always shoot further than that range. You just take higher modifier negatives.
Okay.
So it'll just be a +2 to hit for the full attack.
Okay. I'm gonna go for it anyway.
Kill him.
Is it only +2 or is it +3?
Well, she has a
Plus
+5 to
She has a
hit.
+6.
Oh, so it's
Because her level
+3.
up, she hasn't put it on there. So
Okay,
she has a
so-
+6.
+3 instead. My bad.
Hold on, let me.
She's like, we're not going to do this again.
We're not gonna have the exact same conversation every round. So I have a +6, and then I think on my dueling sword it's a +4.
+4 plus your unarmed strike is also a +4. Your shuriken is a +0.
Oh yay! I went up from a -1.
Hey!
And then as far as
Character
damage
growth.
is concerned, your shuriken is now a 1d4 +1.
Wow.
Yep.
Your dueling sword is a 1d6 +5.
1d6 +5.
Yep. Your plasma claw is a 1d4 plus 2.
Okay.
And the unarmed strike is now a 1d3 plus 5. And then just as a reminder, while we're on the topic of your weapons, the shuriken, the reason why you don't have better stuff in it is because you're not proficient with the weapon. So if we do a level up and you get a feat, taking the special weapon proficiency would give you the benefit of being proficient with that weapon.
What would that? Is that the sleight of hand? No.
No. It's a feat. So it's whenever
like
you level. So it would be
okay.
on our next level up. If you have a feat option, you would select special weapon proficiency, and then that would give you proficiency with the shuriken. But that's just to keep on the horizon, because I want to make sure you guys are tracking what things are limiting your ability. So it's kind of like T could benefit from taking the grenade proficiency on a level up if he has a feat, because then he could throw grenades with the appropriate bonuses. But go ahead and roll me this full attack.
Kill him.
A 9? Oh, sorry.
9 plus 3?
6.
So
yeah,
9.
it'd be 9.
Okay, roll me the next one. That one does not hit.
Come on. Kill him.
Oh my god! Okay, let's just say we failed.
Was that one a nat 1?
It was a 3.
Oh, okay. So it was a 6. So, like, not great, but not the worst. So you kind of see, like, this, like, retractable claw with, like, the energy tether shoot out, and it goes, like, to the side, and then Raya, like, pulls it back in, and then shoots it again. It goes wide to the other side.
It's like
so, like,
losing money.
overcorrecting.
It's like losing money to a claw machine.
Literally.
All right, that brings us back around to T.
Okay, I was gonna move over here to potentially help, but John wasn't able to move. So now I'm going to course correct a bit. We're gonna move back exactly to where I was, keep everyone in range. So dash action, is that something? Do I use my action to move further?
That sounds right. Let me.
You can run as a full action when you run. You can move up to 4 times your speed in a straight line.
Yes. You're reading the exact thing I was going to. So if you stay in a straight line and do not like turn, you can go 4 times. Does it have a thing if you do turn?
Can't run if you cast a difficult terrain or can't see where you're going. Running provokes opportunity attacks. And run a number of rounds equal to Constitution. But I started my turn with my move action. But because run is a full action, I can't use that because I used my move action already.
Unless you want to change it to you're using a full action to run. So it's
Right.
your
Well,
turn.
either way, you can't go straight, though.
Yeah, you'd have to be able to go straight, and
You
you're,
can't go straight.
you're trying to go around the bend.
Yeah, so that wouldn't help me. Okay.
And then yeah.
I don't have tools. Okay.
Don't sell the farm with this fight, just in case. You know what I'm saying?
I may have to. Because, I mean, I can't do shit with my weapons.
Why can't you?
What about the grenade practice?
The swirly durly.
I'm just kidding, dude. Please don't throw a grenade.
In the cave.
You do have things like so like your standard action, like if you're wanting to move towards John, you can also do harrying fire.
I was going to do that on my last turn, but I got confused.
Literally.
So you would make an attack roll DC 15. If you hit, you deal no damage, but the next ally to attack that foe gains
Gets
a
a
plus 2.
Because you're like distracting it.
You could also do covering fire, same DC, and it gives a plus 2 bonus to AC against the next attack from the creature that you're using the covering fire against. So basically, think of like in combat, you're shooting your gun, but not necessarily aiming. You're just forcing them to be defensive.
Right.
And also keep in mind, John is out of range, so... Well,
No,
you
no,
hit
he's
yourself.
not.
He's not out of range, but if you noticed last round,
He
shooting
didn't.
shit
The
He went to
creature-
closest.
knowing... Oh, speaking of which, we'll circle back. So we'll have you roll 2 on your next turn.
Yep, I forget. I keep forgetting that.
Seeing as its poison took effect, the creature seemed to move its attention off of John.
But John is just
Not the
being
DM
himself.
giving you meta face. I'm not saying that it doesn't make sense narratively that T would be worried about John. I think that fits perfectly.
Yeah.
Well,
What's your
But-
likelihood of...
But don't necessarily burn everything.
Yeah.
What's your likelihood of passing the DC 15 with an attack roll?
unlikely. But we're going to just make an attack with my hail pistol. That's the best thing I can do without
Perfect.
spending too much.
Hail
Right.
Mary, if you will.
Hail pistol is.
It's a 9.
Shit, dude. Gotcha. Yeah, 9 does not hit. What type of damage is it specifically?
Isn't it like...
I think it's like piercing, which didn't make sense because I thought it would be cold.
Yeah, same. I remember. You got this in the first
Yeah,
dungeon
I
we
mean,
did.
it has bleed for crits.
Does
but,
there should be a letter next to the damage.
It's
If it's P, it's piercing.
sorry. It's cryo and piercing.
Oh, okay. Doesn't hit, but it does seem to at least kind of leave a mark, as in like it was on the verge.
Okay.
So cold would specifically be targeting the EAC that you guys have confirmed is 17.
Gotcha.
Sorry for the long term.
No, you're fine. It makes sense because we're kind of. This is probably our first like real like deadly encounter,
Right.
and it actually is requiring you guys to look at the depth of your abilities. The
That the
Gleam
guy's
Gazer,
turn?
yeah, he's going to make an attack on Sparks again.
Oh, shit. Sparks. Miss.
That will hit. Doing 15 to Sparks.
Oh!
Jeez.
How's Sparks' stamina looking?
That's the first hit Sparks has taken.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. The last one missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me just a sec because I don't have Sparks' character sheet up. That with the I have her
Oh.
I was
one
gonna
that's
say.
like 2 levels ago. So like, I should probably actually have this up as I'm doing her stuff because she could probably do a little bit more.
That's okay. Like I roll NPCs as you get the benefits if they're at the table. So
Yeah.
I appreciate what you're doing.
Well, the Sparks kind of falls into the category of like it's so Artemis can play when she wants to,
Yeah.
but like also it's hit or miss on whether or not she wants to play. So.
Music remind you of Kingdom Hearts 1? The strings?
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know.
speaking of which, did you guys finish your thingamajig?
No, we
He's-
still haven't finished
He's
it.
on Ansem and I'm on Cherubog.
Okay, so she's gonna take 15. She has 36 to start.
Okay.
Not the worst.
You said 36?
Yeah, so she's at 21 on her stamina.
Oh, she's good. She's good.
Let's do this save though. So she needs to make a fortitude, which she'll pass. Thank God.
Yeah, we don't need any more confusion amongst our ranks.
Okay, that will end. And I guess I should make it clear. So that was the feeding lance. So it moved up here so that it's within range because it's a 4 square.
When you are performing movement, can you occupy the same space to pass through?
Yeah. You just can't land in, you can't stay in the same space, right?
I think that's a combat maneuver. I think to move through the same, or it's a guarded step. One of those. So it's not. You have to consume a different type of action to move through a space with a combatant. If it's an ally, you don't have to worry about it.
Oh, okay.
So it's only a combatant. Sorry.
Yeah.
There are some that do get it. So if you're a tiny creature, you can move through an occupied space with
I
no
like that.
penalty aside
Yeah.
from the target attack of opportunity. But
So like Sparks would technically.
Well,
Sparks technically is a medium, not a
Oh,
tiny.
okay.
oh, okay.
But there are some that are tiny. So there's like this really cute like Skittervander that has like 6 arms that like.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways,
I'm looking it up right now.
as we were like, as I was prepping for the next planet, I got to look at a lot of other creatures and like I realized there's a playable character class or race called Hologram, where it's a hardened AI.
Like Cortana?
Like Cortana, but like actually you can physically touch and like its body holds its shape.
Is this technically? Wait, I'm gonna have.
Skidamander is like a
Is this technically Sparks?
like that, but she's bright yellow, so like a fucking Pikachu.
Oh my god.
Zero aura.
Yeah.
But that will end the Gleam Gazer's turn. That will bring us to John. Let's roll our percentile dice,
All
and
right.
then we'll do our poison track after.
Give me a 25.
Alright. Big money, no whammies. For 40.
40. You do nothing except kind of talk to yourself incoherently.
Can
Yeah,
you break out of this confusion?
Yes. So
I
we
should've
forgot
been
to do
rolling for
this
that.
last term. So he needs to roll 2 consecutive to end the poison. So you get to roll 2, DC 14 for save.
Okay.
Good roll, good roll.
24 for my first.
Perfect. Target is 14.
Well, actually, the last one was 22. This one is 24.
Perfect. You have ended your current poison condition. So next round you will be back to normal.
No
Okay.
way.
Cool.
Okay.
That brings us to Sparks. Let me look because I know she picked up another
Finally.
ability.
I'm, I'm the consistent DPS on this team. You know what I mean? Like, you guys have some cool fancy spells, but like, I don't have to waste spell slots to shoot with my goddamn rifle. And here I am, all confused.
Shooting yourself.
Okay.
Literally.
Right? Yeah, seriously.
She's going to use the Get 'em ability again, so you'll have a +1 on your roll next turn.
Cool.
And then she's going to make an attack with her Sonic Pistol.
Remember the gun that Will Smith gets in the first Men in Black?
It's a nat 1, so she won't.
Oh shit!
No additional negative effect aside from. We'll say that John, like, as he like recentered himself, he like. And like she fucking it distracts Sparks because she like in the middle of fire like John. That will bring us to Raya.
Sweet. I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time.
Full attack.
Full attack. Let's
Bring it.
go.
So
Kill
+3
him.
on the attack rolls
Kill him.
versus your normal +6.
You need at least a 14, I think. At least.
Yes.
Okay, so that's an extra 3,
Yeah.
right? So 16
Oh!
on one hit.
16 is just under.
Okay, baby. So what's that? What do I get? Is
No, like you
Oh,
missed.
one under, like,
Oh, I
you-
missed.
you missed
I
by
missed.
So yeah, you
Oh my god, that
yeah.
hurts even
So you
more.
when you guys are using
That was so many.
you guys have confirmed energy weapons need is 17. No one that I'm aware of has used an attack that's a physical.
That hurts me for
That
you.
hurts me. I was so excited I thought it hit. Okay.
Oh no! You flew too high.
Don't worry, you got your big gun. Literally, the big gun. Back up.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
T, it is your turn.
Seeing that John has come to his senses, T is just going to go into like a crouched run that he's used to running on like uneven terrain on his ship.
Perfect.
You'll see him just kind of like run on the edge of like the water, and then stop right over here to put his hand on John's abdomen, and he's going to use a Mystic Cure
Perfect.
at level 1, and I may be using its secondary effect depending on how much I heal. No, that's a D6, not a D8. Okay, so you gain 8, and you see
Nice.
like T did like have a cold sweat, like realizing his spell didn't have as much power as he has intended, and you see like the purplish energy coming out of his hand start to turn red as color leaves his skin. He's going to take 10 HP from himself to give to you.
Wow.
So you gain 18 hit points,
Okay, well, I'm back up to full.
and I take 10.
What are you at?
Well, it's weird. So he's taken HP, but hasn't taken any stamina.
Yeah. So I still have 28 stamina, and I'm down to 18 health.
Cool. Well, hey, I'm fully loaded, as some would say.
And then I can't do anything for my rest of my turn, so I'll just stay here and face the boss.
I feel useless. I should be crouching in a corner.
Yeah, this combat hasn't necessarily done your way. It passed your
At
spell.
all.
You haven't missed your
Yeah.
attack.
I've only hit once.
Yeah, so you've got your generate grenade spell. You've got your energy ray. You've also got your jolting touch. Now, obviously, that would put you in melee range. But
I don't think I have grenade, do I?
there's a spell that's like, I can't remember what it's called, but you create a grenade out of thin air.
I don't think that's me. Because I have daze, I have psychokinetic hand. So
It's-
that's holding an object. I don't have detect thoughts and jolting surge.
one of your...
Over here. Energy ray,
Oh, do I have that though?
conjure grenade.
I thought only the...
Yeah, you have conjure grenade as a 0 level spell.
Does that take an action to use, though?
One standard action, yeah.
Yeah. So
But she throws it on that.
Oh.
So you conjure and assemble the components to make a grenade, which you throw as part of your action used to cast a spell, requiring an attack roll to hit the intersection as normal. The grenade has a 20-foot range increment, deals 1d4 piercing damage, and has the explode property, meaning it does damage in a 5-foot. So you target a intersection, and it does in that.
So you
Block.
literally cook a grenade.
Yeah,
Cool.
and it's a reflex save to do half.
Yeah, you could toss it right here and just barely.
Yeah.
miss
Now
it.
it's only a 1d4, so it's not like high damage, but it's a
Yeah.
0 level, so you can throw that one on command.
Oh, that you know, it's like a cantrip.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can just use that for free.
But that's, or you could use a plasma claw that does 1d4 plus 2 and do a full action. So that's just for your next turn. At the start of our initiative order, the Nyack, still trying to take out this tiny mouse that's right up next to it because it's the closest target. It rolls a nat 1 though, so it will
hey, don't worry about it.
miss. So you'll see the
Spark
feeding.
over here just jumping over like.
Yes, you'll see like the feeding lance come in and just can't get me.
Wow.
John, this dinosaur is crazy.
It almost got me that time. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
John, it's your turn with your +1 to attack rolls.
I'll after coming to and getting that nice healing, my core kind of feels rejuvenated. I'll like take a knee and Sparks, take a look at this asteroid, and I'm gonna take a full attack.
Remember that +1.
+1, so that's going to be, hold on, -4, +1, 5, right? 5.
Yeah, so it'd be
Yeah, 5. Okay, so that's going to be 18 to hit.
18 hits.
Next attack, miss. Okay,
Roll me some damage.
2d6.
Fuck him up.
2d6 plus 4.
And him.
Kill him.
That's going to be 7 plus 4 is 11 points of damage.
Nice.
And my next shot will just like go super wide and hit the cavern wall behind.
The off of this attack, you'll see that the Nyack is starting to kind of move a little, like it's having to put a little bit more effort
Okay.
into its movements.
Okay.
That will bring us to Sparks.
Oh, actually, I can't move. I use
No.
full attack. Never mind.
Sparks, seeing as the get 'em seems to be really working for the group, is going to keep using this. Get him! Get the little dinosaur! I mean, big dinosaur. He's pretty big. And then she's going to attack with her sonic pistol.
Hit.
That one is going to miss. That was a 10
Shit,
to,
dude.
10 to hit. So that will be Spark's turn, bringing us to Raya.
Kill him.
She has
Okay.
one other one that Artemis, because she's like, I want to handle animals, so we picked an ability, but since this isn't an animal, it doesn't really
Does not.
take effect. Because it's basically like she tries to shoo it away.
Oh my gosh.
She does have one as a reaction to give you guys advantage on your reflex saves, but there's nothing that's
Right.
constituted a reflex save.
Okay.
I kind of want to do the grenade now. Now that I know that I have it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Only because a 17 didn't hit last time.
Well,
No, 16 didn't hit.
16 did hit.
17
17
was
meets
the
and
number
beats
you
it.
needed.
17 is the cutoff.
Oh.
With the grenade, though, keep in mind you still have to make an attack roll with the grenade, so it's not a guaranteed hit.
Okay, never mind. I'm gonna do what I did last time.
Because the conjured grenade,
You're right.
Maybe try to just take one attack.
You want to just do
Well,
one?
I don't know.
I mean, if you're feeling confident, you can hit.
All she has to do is roll 14.
Yeah, I mean that's like a 60% chance.
Well, no, the save DC is a 14 for it on its reflex. She needs to beat its.
No, 14 plus 3 is.
She's talking about doing a
yeah.
full attack.
Oh, yeah,
with
full
Plasma
attack,
Claw.
yeah.
And 14, that is high, but like,
I don't have anything else.
you might as well just
Yeah.
go for it, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
go for it.
I do
Plus,
full
it's
attack
the
every time.
higher one.
Yeah, the only other one, like I said, that you have Energy Ray that does damage, which Energy Ray, you choose Acid, Cold, Electricity, or Fire. You fire a ray at the target, and you must make a ranged attack
It doesn't
against.
like cold attacks, right? From
It doesn't like any energy base, so
Oh, okay.
which this is energy. So
I see. Never mind.
on a hit, the ray deals 1d3 of the chosen energy type, but it does scale. So at third level, half your character level to the damage. So you would add 2,
Or 2.
so 1d3 plus 2 if you cast this. And it bumps up a lot more at level 7. But anyways, that's another one. You also have Jolting Surge, so you make
Yeah, I saw that one.
you make a melee attack with that one, and it does a lot more damage. It does 46 electricity damage if you land that one. And then I think your dueling sword, you'd have to move into melee range, also does 1d6 plus 5. So it does a decent amount of damage, but it requires you to move into melee range.
Out the swords.
So you would consume. So to use the sword, you would consume a swift action to switch to the sword, a move action to get into range, and then only one attack.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's a +4. Well, 1d6, so I probably have a better chance.
So it's plus
Okay.
4, 1d6, plus 5 as far as damage is concerned. The only downside is that is slashing, and you guys have no clue what the KAC on the creature is because you've all used energy weapons so far.
Right.
So you don't know what the AC on the creature is as far as slashing is concerned. Just trying to give you as much information as possible because this is a little bit more involved than we've had to do with combat before because it's mostly I can't attack it with my mind, but the rifle seems to do a decent amount of damage.
I think with it having energy, I think I'm gonna stick with the plasma claw.
Yeah, good call. Good call.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to sway your decision, but
Yeah.
that's a
No, I
pretty-
mean that puts
pretty-
it into perspective though, considering everything else, and then
I would say moving into melee would be smart if it didn't have the poison.
Yeah.
track.
And that's the thing. I don't want to get too close.
Well,
I mean, technically you can use range, but-
I still have one big AoE heal in my pocket. So,
No need to risk it.
worst
But
case scenario.
you would lose one attack this turn to make that happen, and then you could full attack with your sword every round after that. But
Yeah,
you
but
just
we
don't
know if
yeah.
the sword is actually going to be a good hit though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time.
Kill him.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. This is gonna be easy. Easy, no big deal. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Are you doing a full attack?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it.
Come on.
Okay, an 18 on 1
Nice.
plus 3.
18 hits by itself.
18, and then I have an 8 on the other one.
Ah.
So that one.
But, yeah,
doesn't
so
count.
roll me damage for the first one.
Woo!
Nice.
Okay, okay.
So that's a 1d4. Oh, 4!
Oh, match damage.
4 plus 2.
Perfect.
Nice.
Yep, we're closing in.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Apparently, me writing was just enough to move binder. It's still kind of moving in that sluggish maneuver. It still looks relatively healthy. Just it's starting to feel a little bit bruised up. That will bring us to T.
Okay. I'm gonna try to kill this thing as quickly as possible, which will expend my final spell slot.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I let loose a mind thrust at first level. Give
Perfect.
me
Will save.
a will save.
What was the DC?
That's an 11.
Oh, that's a fail.
That fails. He's gonna take full damage.
Perfect.
Kill him.
Let's go.
I say perfect on the DM, right?
That's 12.
12.
Again, like a laser just shoots. It's not as like big as the last one. Can tell that this one is a little lesser power, but it still strikes true to his mind, giving like a splitting my brain.
Yeah, you can see that this has a pretty solid effect. The androids looking kind of like heads hanging a little bit lower as it's still kind of lashing out, though.
I've expended my resources. Get him!
Yeah, and then I'll end my turn.
Sparks is like, I already said that.
Gonna finally crack it, so.
Perfect. Bringing it back around to the gleam gazer here. Sparks, because she keeps consuming her move action to kind of give you guys the best opportunity here. She's still within range. It's going to make an attack on her with its feeding lance, which will hit.
Oh,
Oh, this is the poison.
So to be honest, it has 2 attacks. Both of them infect the virus.
Ah.
did it poison her last time?
No.
No, so you have to pass a save. So if you pass a save, you don't get a poison. John just happened to fail one of his. So she'll take 14.
Oof.
She's still.
She has a little bit of stamina left, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then let's see what her.
It's in the single digits of stamina though.
29, 36 minus 29.
She's down to 7.
Yeah, 7.
But she will pass the fortitude saves.
Woo.
There we go, Mousy.
And that will be it for Gleam Gazer. John, you'll notice as it's kind of in this like weakened state that it's silly as it's kind of like feeling around, like recenters. So its head, while it doesn't have eyes, recenters back on you, seeing as you called it out previous. It is now your turn, John.
Seeing this gaze from the creature, John kind of temporarily goes into like a very rageful fit with all this confusion and potentially being really close to like solving a lot of mysteries. He just starts and I'll just take like one powerful shot and then hit right through the other one. I'm going to just try and blast a hole through this fucker. Okay, that's better. The second one hits for 20 something.
Perfect. Roll me some damage.
Okay. Six plus 4, 10 points of damage.
Just hanging bond by a
If my second attack didn't miss. And I'll just like I'll fire a shot and That's it. I'm just gonna move. I guess. Oh, no, I
Nope.
can't. Full attack. That's it for me.
Okay. Sparks is kind of look back at you, John. John, do you want this thing kept alive? Do you know this dinosaur?
It's looking at you like a sad puppy.
I already tried to talk to this thing. I don't know what's happening anymore. Gah!
Okay, John. I'll try and take it out with a non-lethal strike, maybe. That way you can talk to it like a puppy afterwards.
Thanks, Sparks.
So she's gonna take a full action this turn
Okay.
to.
Sparks, let's see it.
Can we encourage Sparks to instead maybe just go out of range instead of attack it? Because I don't know how much life this thing has. And
What?
if it's looking
So
at
so
John,
specifically, she's taking non-lethal. So
oh,
basically, what it means is even if she does kill it, it doesn't die.
okay,
It just
okay.
will drop unconscious. That way, John has the option.
Okay.
So she's going to take a full attack with her
Let's see
sonic
it.
pistol.
Let's see it.
That one was terrible.
Come on.
And that one was only slightly better. Both will miss.
Okay.
Apparently, I can't take it out without killing it, John. That brings us to Raya.
Okay, noticing that I feel like this character is trying to reach out to John for a reason, I'm gonna use one of my spells and I'm gonna detect thoughts.
Okay, let's make sure that
Detect
you.
Thoughts has special like uses, like depending on how long it's casted will give you more information.
Yeah, and the other thing is I want to make sure you're not wasting.
I have 4
'Cause it's not a-
slots.
it's
I
not-
don't-
Well, this is a once a day because it's a racial trait and not a.
So this one says 4 spells per day.
The detect thoughts is specifically because you're a Lashunta and not a.
Okay.
If you would have picked the spell and not gotten it as a racial trait,
Then it would
then
apply.
you could cast it several times.
Okay.
Okay.
Because you can cast it out.
So how this works is this round, you would detect the presence or absence of thoughts from a conscious creature. So you would, if you use this, you would detect the creature that's in the room. So you're not going to get any benefit this round. Now you get other things each consecutive round, but you have to concentrate it on it, so you wouldn't be able to do anything else for however many rounds you keep it active. So it's really good outside of combat because it kind of like gives you information without
Yeah.
having to engage. During combat, it's super dangerous because you literally can't do anything else unless you drop the spell.
Would I be able to determine? Well,
So all you would get this round if you cast it is you detect the presence or absence of thoughts from conscious creatures that have the intelligence scores of at least 1.
oh, well, he
Or-
doesn't have any.
Well, he has intelligence,
Oh, yeah, he has
but
that.
it's going to tell something that you already know.
Okay.
It's going to tell you that this
Well,
creature's in the room. So the only thing is if there was other creatures in the room that you don't see.
If this helps you at all, you wouldn't gain much benefit from the second round either. That just tells you the amount of thoughts from creatures in the room.
Yeah, I think it's going to take you at least
3 rounds.
3 rounds to be able to get anything beneficial out of this spell. Unfortunately.
We could potentially use that if we can knock it unconscious and revive it. So like we're no longer in combat with it.
It's a very good thought. It just unfortunately is
Yeah.
not very strong in the middle of combat.
If you were to do this in D&D, where the rules are a little looser with detect thoughts and stuff, or like
different.
like you may have been able to get a little bit more value, but
Yeah.
It's very beneficial. Like if before you had encountered, so like as you'd walked in the room and you had said, "Hey, I want to use detect thoughts," you would have known it was there before it dropped down,
Oh, okay.
and you could have gone through the full rounds of it without engaging combat.
Right.
But because combat had already started, some of the benefits of it are a little bit reduced.
I don't want to hurt it.
So you can do non-lethal.
Okay, I want to do non-lethal.
So essentially what this means is just you don't kill outright. it just knocks him unconscious.
Yeah, so you'll like attack as normal, but
Okay.
it's in the flavor of vanilla rather than chocolate.
That's a way to explain it.
So, and this is my ruling: is if you're intentionally not trying to kill it, it doesn't matter what weapon you're using. Per the rules, there are specific weapons you have to use to do non-lethal damage. So in this case, the only one you would have is your unarmed strike. But I am ruling it is I don't like that. So
Yeah, just aim for a tentacle, not the head.
yeah. So that's how I'm ruling it. So you can attack with whatever you'd like and deal non-lethal if that's what you choose.
What's that referring to? Like a cudgel or something?
Basically, you're knocking it unconscious. So there's some, I don't know what other weapons off the top of my head. I know the only one she has is non-lethal, is the unarmed strike.
For me, I just put my boomer rifle on non-lethal mode.
He sets it to stun.
Yeah, it needs to save me off.
You only make you think that you shot it.
Yeah.
Alright, in that case, I'm gonna do the same thing I did last round.
Full attack.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
Alright,
a full
give me
attack. I'm not gonna move.
We don't have the plus from Sparks this round.
That's okay.
The Sparks took a full attack and missed both of them.
Is that yeah?
She likes the dinosaur.
Barney! I have an 11 and a 10
Ah.
plus. Yeah, which is not gonna do much anyway.
11,
Oh no,
yeah.
actually, plasma claw is a plus 6.
But
Oh,
since you're
but
taking a
that's
full
all.
act,
Oh,
you
it's-
take a negative
You're
4.
right, you're right, you're right.
So,
Doesn't do anything.
Yep.
Flop me.
so that brings us to T. T's like, why are you guys not
T kind
killing
of
the
just
damn
looks
thing?
around, kind of out of breath from running across the battlefield back and forth.
I forgot.
Guys, just kill the thing.
I'm gonna grab the pistol out and just shoot.
Perfect.
I'm
Are you gonna kill it? Or are you-
I'm not rolling non-lethal.
He's rolling lethally.
Are you?
Oh, okay. Let's see it.
Well, it's 16, so
Kill my family hood dog.
that misses.
Literally.
Misses by 1.
Okay.
Oh, fuck.
Are you doing anything with your move or swift action?
No, I'm staying where I'm at.
Maybe you should keep doing your little captain crawl.
Just shoot back and forth.
Yeah. Serpentine.
The Nyack is going to not make eye contact because it doesn't have eyes, but it's going to angle its head directly at John. John, give me a mysticism check.
Alright,
Can I
let's see this.
potentially
like it's
assist
like a
in this
fraud.
Yeah.
anyway?
How?
The same way you did last time, if you'd like.
I'm going to speak inside of your mind with my telepathy.
Okay.
Like, is it discernible that it's trying to communicate something?
I've already pointed it out in combat that I think it's trying to communicate with John.
That, and then John made the connection with it earlier. Whether or not he voiced it to everybody else is there.
Okay.
But you are seeing a creature that has actively been hostile to start is seeming to stop attacking and trying to make contact with.
Oh, John, you must feel with it. You must feel its pain.
So this is advantage?
As I said before, connect your spirits together. And if this is truly a dearest friend, let it know that with your gaze.
Oh, that's still not good. 10?
An advantage?
He has a -2.
I rolled
Well,
yeah, it's bad.
um,
It's okay, I don't have to have this win.
no.
Can anybody else do it?
No,
John
unfortunately.
You're like, can I? Shanti's like, can I fucking do it? I've got a plus 15 on this.
Hey, I'm talking on John's behalf. You're a huge asshole and stop fighting.
It's like that whenever when they're fighting Boo and they're like trying to ask for the spirit bomb and to have Vegeta do it, and
Yeah.
like the spirit bomb gets smaller because he pisses off all the people on Earth. While it makes this kind of gaze at you, John, whatever connection you had off of your flash of a memory, you're not seeing this for what the creature is trying to convey. The creature is going to take the full defense as it kind of like wraps itself and like kind of then looks up back at the ceiling where you kind of see like a nest.
A nest. A nest.
That will bring us to John.
Finally starting to put this together, if not for Shanti's telepathic help. I'll just sort of like, I don't think it wants to fight us. I will leave you in peace because I am your master, Michael. And I'll just like kind of like defensively and with no aggression kind of back up one space.
Give me a diplomacy at advantage.
Alright, that might not matter. Dude.
Gotta roll over 12 sometime.
Alright, so I rolled a 9, minus 2, that's a 7.
At advantage?
Yeah, at advantage.
Perfect.
The DM's like, look, I really want you to have this moment, but the dice say otherwise.
Yeah.
The creature just says, you're throwing mid sentence. I don't know if you want me to chase.
The creature already kind of in a defensive stance, and whether it's just you're not articulating loud enough, you're not calling out its name, so it's not sure you're directing at it. It doesn't respond. So it's not necessarily doing anything, but it hasn't ended the combat encounter. So
That's fine. I'll waste my turn trying to do that.
Have you communicated with anybody else? Any inkling of what you experienced, or is it just you at the moment? I want to say it's just you, right?
I'll just say this. I think this potentially might be a family pet. It's hard to say. I think my dad told me about something about respecting it. That's about it. I don't really know how to make sense of it all.
You said specifically about like smuggling, maybe I've never seen this creature, but would I know about its venom? Like,
roll me a smuggler check.
Oh shit! Yeah, you work for free captains.
I'm a good smuggler.
Not good enough.
You're a smuggler, just not a mule.
Yeah, we leave that to the traffickers.
Do roll at advantage because John gave you that his father seemed to treat it as a pet.
24.
Okay.
That's following the nat 1 with an 11.
Oh, perfect.
Wow.
So, T, you would have been familiar, similar to like Prohibition. Nyack and Nakwa were specifically like an underground sort of drug that was solicited during, we'll say, after Gap 100, so about 100 years ago. You would also be privy to some of the families on Verces going from kind of poverty into maximum wealth following this, because they were able to provide, they were willing to accept the risk of encountering Nyaks and harvesting the virus in a form that didn't have a massive detriment, mostly that there isn't a Nyack actively feeding on you. So if you pull out the virus and inject it, you get the euphoric state without necessarily being drained dry.
Okay, so
So treat it as like this mansion and the atoll is probably built up off of a like underground Prohibition style
Drug money.
I would say drug money, but Nakwa is legal currently in the Pact Worlds. It just is not.
It's like Robitussin. That's a bad
Or
joke.
and not our current society. It's like weed
I
is
was
actually
literally gonna
legalized.
say it's legal in some states.
Okay, well,
You could say
You
there's
just
a
can't sell it.
So it's a narcotic, so it's a little bit more aggressive than say weed, but
sure. You could
It's
say
Robitussin.
there's a certain je ne quoi about it.
How does the defensive turn work?
so basically, if you take the full defensive, basically it just means its AC has gone up.
Okay. I am going to take a little bit of a risk here. I'm going to slowly approach and get right up next to it.
Just tried this a couple rounds ago.
With weapons kind of put down. I'm not going to do it this turn. However, should we make any solid leeway, I will heal it.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
So you're just within range.
Yeah.
So you're holding your action to heal. Okay. Perfect.
Can you hold your action in Starfinder?
I'm gonna go with. I have decided it is. I don't know for sure off of the full
Yeah.
rules.
So if friendly negotiations are made, I will use my healing surge.
Okay.
I have a bony butt, so.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, total defense only is a standard action. Look at that. It gives you a +4 to AC for the total defense.
And that's just a standard action?
Mhm.
That's nice.
So, I mean, I guess you can move and switch grips or whatever.
I'm
you can't attack.
going to keep my turn as same. Chess rules. But, no. I'll
You're
just-
like, oh, I could still use total defense, but I like the holding the heal. As far as the creature is concerned, its turn, it's not going to do anything different. It's going to take the total defense action again. Basically, kind of, if anything, you see it kind of like reaching up to kind of like start clinging to the ceiling of the cave again.
Is this thing trying to crawl back into the nest? Does that mean that there's more of them? I'm asking them.
Give me a perception check.
Good thought.
Because if it's almost dying and it's trying to go back up into the hole. Ooh, I'm gonna say 9.
You're not able to kind of get much out of the nest aside from it looks like it resides there. On the surface, there doesn't seem to be anything indicating other Nyack here. But you don't know if that's just, you don't know the life cycle of a Nyack, so you don't know what it would look like to have young. But at surface level, it seems like this is the only one that resides in the cave.
Maybe if we don't fuck with it, it won't fuck with us.
You think it'll just crawl back in the hole and leave us alone?
Are we still in combat?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Sorry.
No, it is your turn.
Oh, okay. That's what I say for my turn.
Give me a diplomacy check.
We're gonna keep doing this until you score right,
Yeah.
sir.
Or someone else, but
Yeah, I'll say, my memory may be a little fuzzy, but I could never forget those lovely little tentacles.
My God.
Daddy's home. Leave us alone.
roll this at advantage.
Okay, I needed it.
Well, I was just more because of that last little bit of RP.
That's a 10, bring it down to an 8. At advantage.
I love this because it's both your mysticism and diplomacy, which are relevant right now, are so bad.
Dude.
But it's also really fitting
Yeah.
because if John had this sort of spiritual connection, there's a likelihood that he probably would have already been picking up on his past history. So,
yeah.
like I said, there's no discernible change. It seems to be like the creature is retiring.
Okay, so I interpret this as he understood exactly what I said, and I'm going to assume that means we're no longer fighting, and I'll just walk closer to where the note was in the middle of the room, and I'll end my turn.
Is anybody else looking to attack this creature?
No, I would like to try my hand at a pseudo persuasion.
Like a diplomacy check?
Yeah.
Give me the RP first, and then we'll determine how we're rolling.
I held my heel for a moment. I just kind of released a little bit of that energy, that light that it was similar to what John had seen if it was
Right.
able to detect that. And I'm going to, whether it can understand me or not, I'm going to communicate through its mind.
Couldn't you go straight to it instead of like?
I'm right next to it.
But
Well-
I'm saying instead of going through John for the telepathy.
He
That's
can go.
what I'm
He's
doing.
trying to go straight to it.
Oh, is that what you're
Just
gonna
make
do?
sure.
Yeah.
Pull up the Lashunta telepathy to make sure that I'm not missing something with it.
Limited telepathy is within 30 feet.
Right.
Some benefits. Only with whom I share a language with is the
Gotcha.
but of course I don't know that.
Right.
So regardless if it works or not, I'm going to try.
Perfect. Give me a diplomacy check at advantage.
Basically, in the simplest of terms, I'm just going to relay. We are peace. I'll heal your wounds. And that
Because you're giving the kind of like healing aura that you had already provided to John that this creature has seen, roll this advantage.
diplomacy.
Yes. Because you're not trying to like deceive it in any sort of capacity, so this makes the most sense to me.
It's a 14.
Okay, not bad.
The
Not great.
creature, specifically Gleam Gazer, takes this as at least some sort of benefit. The sort of, because it doesn't understand any of the languages that you guys speak, because it's just a creature. Well, I guess it would just understand common, at least on a pet sort of level.
Commands.
None of the things that you articulated are things that it would necessarily be familiar with.
Well, I'm just going to bank on the fact that it receives my message by the healing that it receives.
Perfect. And like I was saying, what I'm saying is it recedes up the sort of it's feelings that you're getting back, not any sort of language, and it's basically like kind of like the puppy that like the owner doesn't recognize it sort of thing.
I think
So it's like if you're calling your dog by the wrong name.
Right.
I think I'm the only one missing HP.
Yes.
Well, Sparks is good.
Sparks is only taking stamina, which
Okay.
unfortunately he doesn't affect.
So me and Homeboy are the only ones that get the health. But I do get to roll 48. And it takes a resolve point to do so. But,
Okay.
that is 18.
18 to both. Nice.
Wow.
The creature will take this as a sign of at least friendship from you, and it will recede to its sort of like nest, kind of like hanging like kind of like a bat in the cave,
Okay.
and sort of kind of like start metaphorically licking its wounds with its cilia, not actually licking its wounds, but and we'll call that the end of combat.
How in the resolve points section, what would I categorize this use as?
Does it ask you what you're using it for when you used it? Does it have one that's like spells or character traits?
Bolster spell?
Yeah, bolster spell,
This
right.
This is a feature.
But it's a-
spell.
Unless it's got a class feature option on there. I've never used the app, so I didn't know it asked you those questions. Let me look. See if there's another one that makes sense. So it's I want to say bolster spell makes the most sense.
Okay, that's an offensive. It doesn't really matter.
Because yeah, as long as it's just consuming it.
Yeah.
I guess it might matter in the future on with higher level stuff, but I'm not familiar from when I read through the core rulebook on it mattering, but it could be in a later edition.
Yeah. So because I'm a level 3 mystic, I get a boost to my healing channel. Each time I use it, I spend 1 resolve point, but it's an AoE 30-foot range 4d8 heal.
Oh, nice. So yeah, we'll call that the end of combat.
Okay.
If anybody needs a refill or anything like that, we can do that real quick before we get into the RP following.
Yes. Step outside for a brief moment.
Sure. Are you taking a break?
Yeah, I was since you were in the bathroom, I was going to give you a little bit before we got into the combat is now concluded.
Keep going.
Yeah, I'm ready to go if you guys are.
Perfect.
Okay.
So yes, the creature is now receded back into sort of its little cubby hole there. It doesn't seem to be interested in anything else with you guys. If anything, John, you get the impression that it seems to be disappointed.
Thinking of Todd
Not
being.
mad, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Todd being dropped off in the forest in Fox and the Hound.
That stuff has dairy poison tendrils.
Yep. And is the source of a very explicitly sold drug throughout the universe. Anyways.
Now that you guys have a little bit more time without this looming threat, you'll see on the back of the cove, you kind of seen it, but not been able enough time to like look at it. There's a map of the Pact Worlds with pins on a couple of the different planets, with 10 or more on Castrovel. There's another board that has a handful of species listed, including Formians, Shirans, Bolidias, Volcarisu, Thray, and a question mark next to Lashuntas.
Is this... Wait, John, is this to assume... This may be speculation. Do you think that this revival ritual that he's doing is maybe more effective on other races than... He has a list of other races that have questions.
Well, what did he do though? Because the only thing he's done is transfer souls.
Into.
But
So
one of his only successful attempts was you, John. One of his own race. If he is to continue building this force of individuals.
What if it's the opposite? What if these are the ones that actually worked?
That's a good point.
Because Lashuntas is a question mark.
If you guys would like, give me a life science roll to
Okay.
recognize these
I
races.
have a really big.
I'm not good with the life science, I don't think.
I have a 9.
I have a 4, I'll roll.
And this is mostly because we haven't played enough Starfinder for you guys to recognize all these races offhand.
15.
17 plus 9, 26.
I have a dirty 20.
Alright, those were all really good. You guys would be familiar. Formians are an insectoid race, similar to ants. Shirans are also an insectoid race. They're kind of sort of beetle, like, I would say beetle-like, but they remind me of like flies without wings, sort of thing.
Like the guy from Tatooine, the slave trader dude who owns Anakin.
No, a little bit more insectoid than that.
Okay.
Bolidias would be kind of like roly-poly sort of insectoids. Volcarisu are also insectoids. Thray are like bees, also an insectoid race. The question mark is only by Lashuntas, which seem to have like a mantis like
affiliation.
Why is it only attacking insects? Insect type creatures.
I don't know if it's specifically attacking. As I said, it seems that his methods have worked on more humanoid-esque races. But have we seen any evidence of the opposite?
Could I perhaps use physical science as a way to justify... Like, physical science wouldn't necessarily involve genomes, would it?
That would fall under life science.
Fuck me. Okay, never mind.
You just rolled a dirty 20 on your
I know, but it's only +4.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Would I be able to? No? Would I know?
What are you thinking, John?
well, let me think. I'll go ahead and make a check, yes.
Well, so what are you?
Okay,
I
so
guess the question is,
my-
what are you trying to dig?
My intentions are, like, not to say that every insectoid race is evolutionarily related, but would I by chance know something that, like, would sort of hint towards, like, is it about the genetic makeup of these creatures that could potentially be responsive to, like, mysticism or something? I don't know, I'm really digging here.
So me being a historian nerd, would I be able to connect dots to any research I've done in the past?
Give me a historian roll. John will circle back.
Okay, that's fine.
But I want to see what Ryan
Yeah,
gets
no,
first
yeah.
to see if she gives
Yeah.
you any.
Ideas?
Oh my god! I have an 8.
Plus.
An 8.
Oh.
Oh, it's a +0.
It's a 7 and I have a 1.
Oh, you rolled a nat 1.
Oh no.
Oh.
So yeah, I was gonna say rolling a nat 1's different than getting an 8.
Yeah, that one is critical fail, not 20 is critical success.
Unfortunately, I don't know if it's because you've kind of like, you guys have already sort of like jumped to a conclusion and you start like spiraling down into it. You're not able to kind of like pick up on specifically, aside from they're all insectoid, of why they're related. John, give me
Life science?
So you're wanting to understand why they're there, or are you trying to
No.
pick apart why the board exists?
No, well, more so, like, I'm trying to find the common denominator between every race up here, including the Lashunta with the question mark, and I'm wondering if it's like a genetic thing, like, I don't know. And so that...
So I would say either life science or sense motive. So I would say life science if you're trying to focus specifically on like the biological reason, or
neither
sense
eh?
good.
motive if
That's what I was looking for.
or you're trying to like ascertain why this board would have been put up with these races specifically.
I'll go that direction, because sense motive, I have a -4 penalty.
Okay.
So I'll go life sciences. Oh, fuck. So 10.
Unfortunately, you're not able to pick apart the board. It's not the only piece of information. Obviously, you've got the note. You've got the note on the holo terminal. So, like, obviously, there's more to pick apart here. At the moment, for you guys, all you're really getting is, for some reason, Rejuvenor has put these specific insectoid or insectoid adjacent races on the board. And probably the bigger issue is on the board with the planet specifically. There's a bunch of pins spread across the planet on Castrovel. So there are pins on other ones. You'll also see some on Absalon Station.
Castrovel is their home planet, isn't it?
It's the insectoid planet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Which is what would have me more worried, because this is our planet.
I think we have some more things to look into, but maybe as far as next places we visit, that might not be such a bad idea.
I agree, but John, we need to know what's in that note.
Maybe we should check the computers first, as I like nervously point to like one of the terminals.
Yeah, so that red circle, that's the holo projector, which is where the note is.
Oh, I just these purple boxes, weren't they like computers?
There's
or something?
computers, but the holo projector, so like it's
Yeah.
a circular device that will shoot up a projection
Gotcha.
of whoever's talking. There's a note next to like the.
Oh, I know. I'm specifically avoiding it. I'm feeling
Okay.
a little. I'm feeling a little. Feeling a little nervous
Little,
about it.
While John is searching for his feelings, could I use
I have feelings. I'm a robot.
not fully.
I just did it.
Couldn't connect with anything.
Could I potentially do a smuggler's check to look for anything valuable in the room?
Like something that's like hidden or something.
Like whether hidden or just seems to have high worth.
That's cool.
Yes.
What is
Give
wrong with
me-
you?
I'm a smuggler.
That's not his profession. In
Fair.
fact, give me a profession roll.
Oh, we haven't had one of these in a while.
What is that? That's 24.
Damn.
As you start digging around, whether or not it's valuable to you is up to your interpretation. But you, before anybody else, will see the paperwork for reinstating John as the Baron of the Aurora Toll. There are 2 drafted versions. One with the name Michael Tohaak and one with the name John Smith.
Interesting.
You will also see a couple of devices. You don't recognize what they are, but they seem to be cybernetic inserts to kind of block mental attacks, or at least dampen mental attacks.
Say that last part again, I'm sorry.
They're cybernetic inserts that would inhibit or block sort of like a mental sonic attack.
I'm confused. Is that within the papers? Like
No, these are like little devices.
Just sitting around.
So I'm doing this while you're trying.
While you're trying to figure out your feelings,
Yes.
which you may or may not get this information from the holo terminal, Sean T has already found them.
I'm still looking at the board.
I think I may have found something.
Oh, great. Let's take a look, and I'll just move away from the holo projection thing.
he's kept like a 10-foot between him and the tall terminal the whole time.
I specifically only show the cybernetic inserts.
John, I do have more information, but I think we may need to read that note before I give it to you. But I do have these.
So these are little things you put on the back of the skull, or what?
So, without being technological savvy, or like actually analyzing them, the meta thing I just gave you, you wouldn't be able to discern. You would be able to tell it's a cybernetic insert. You don't know what the fuck it does.
Sure.
But he still raises them up and says, I found these.
Yeah, well, obviously he's a smuggler. He knows there's at least some value in them.
I'll approach Raya as she's looking at the board. So you seem pretty worried about your home planet. I would be too, considering what I'm looking at. And I just kind of like gesture towards the board.
T still just kind of like dangling like keys to a new car, like these cybernetic inserts, and then.
And as you're taking another look at the board, it is concerning because no other planet in the Pact Worlds has more than 2 pins. Castorville is the only one that has more than 10.
But why are there no other races? Why is it just the insect race on this board specifically? I think that's the part that's bothering me the most, because how does that fit into the...
There's a huge amount of information and context that we're missing here.
I looked at John. I looked at John.
John knows how to read the room, and he says, well, it seems like you guys are ready to open the note.
You can remove your auditory device or whatever you use.
That's not how it works. That's pretty insensitive.
I'm going to use my Lashunta telepathy to speak to Raya.
While he's turned around, look for his on off.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
You see my antenna just like going around,
Like receiving the signal.
And you,
I'm reaching.
but I'm like, it's like
T
Mantis.
just puts on like a.
I'm like picturing Raya like Mantis, where like she kind of gets it, just like like the like confused, like I don't know, like
Plan C.
abort, self-destruct.
So me reaching my like impatience between both of them, I go over to the terminal, I grab the letter, and I bring it to John.
Okay, so it's just a note. There's a button basically to activate the holo terminal.
Oh. Then I'm gonna walk over and stand in front of it and
Okay. It's not like this might be very revealing to certain elements.
or we can find out what happened to my planet.
Or what is going to happen, let's look on the bright side.
Because it's my planet too.
That is two very different perspectives. Half glass, full glass.
Okay.
Well, left arrow. I'll go with that.
I press the button.
As the holo terminal is activated, an automated message from Rejuvenor will begin playing.
Okay.
Rejuvenor is in his late 20s, early 30s, with several cybernetic enhancements. He has a cybernetic arm, a cybernetic eye, and robotic legs. And it's unsettling, John, because it's almost like, while you can tell it's a pre-recorded, it's almost like he anticipated where you're going to be standing in the room, because...
Because of where he's like looking?
Yes.
Okay, of course.
Brother, I'm sorry I couldn't spend more time with you, trying to return your memories when we returned to the atoll. When I received the message that the swarm had started infiltrating the Pact Worlds, I knew I had to act quickly.
That's the threat.
The Pact World Council acknowledged that they knew a threat was potentially imminent, but downplayed how widespread the threat actually was, since they wanted to avoid a panic. As you can see on the map here, they have created small outposts on several of the Pact World planets with a full-blown hive on Castrovel.
Oh shit! The swarm is just...
No! And it's our... No! Okay, keep going. So me and John just stare at each other.
During my research, it seems that they can infect most of the insectoid species on the planet, including a handful of Lashuntas. Although in the case of Lashuntas, it seems to be a longer process, requiring days of being subjected to the hive mind. I was going to bring you with me, but in my neglect of you during the preparations for the invasions, you had departed to learn about the world in your own way.
So, this is post. Like...
So if you're... While we're kind of in the middle here...
Sorry.
Whenever you guys had the conversation with Gideon had told you that he got a message, and he basically went from spending all his time with you trying to regain your memories to spending all his time in the cave prepping.
Right.
And didn't share with Gideon what he was prepping for.
And that's when I left.
Because when he put your soul into the body, you had no memories.
Yeah, exactly.
I realize in hindsight that converting creatures without consent has not put myself in the best light. But aside from the creatures in Absalom Station and yourself, I have made a point of confirming the recipient of the soul transfer is willing before proceeding. Our numbers are still small due to the amount of magical energy needed to complete the process, but we cannot wait to acquire more personnel before heading to Castrovel and mounting counter-assaults. I hope that my explanation is enough to have you come join us on the front. We will set up a base just outside the capital to analyze how dire the situation on the planet actually is before we form our strategy. If you do join us, bring the extra inhibitors that I created. Insectoid species can be brought under the hive mind with a sonic type of attack without these devices. The Shunta seem to have a bit of a tolerance, but our reports are showing that as more have been brought under swarm control, their sonic ability has increased. The paperwork for you to reclaim the title of Baron and the Aurora Toll are also on the workbench. I have drafted 2 versions, one with Michael Tohaak and one with John Smith. Choose which one feels like who you are now. Also, feel free to bring
DM?
Also, feel free to bring Gleamgazer with you. He was always more connected to you than I. In either case, I hope to see you soon. Wish me luck. Hopefully, we can eradicate their foothold before they actually invade.
He was fighting the swarm.
Okay, so question. So he had mentioned that the PWC is making moves against the swarm. Like
He mentioned that the PWC is aware.
They played
of
it down.
And they're downplaying.
They downplayed it.
Are we now a part of PWC?
Well,
the Pact World Council. You guys became official task force firm.
Yeah, we're like
so.
In the earlier beginning, right?
Well,
no, that was whenever you guys left Avalon.
So, Rejuvenor took things into his own hands and is trying to eliminate the threat that the PWC has underplayed.
Yes.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that PWC is a enemy of Rejuvenor.
Well, they did create a task force which we're on to stop Tohaak. Because what he's doing is like philosophically, like morally immoral.
Moral, philosophic. Although, as he kind of alluded to in here, is he
I
has been
know.
confirming consent before he does it now.
But that still doesn't make it immoral.
The DM,
in the eyes of the PWC.
The DM basically humanized the villain we've been after for the last 9 episodes.
Like Anakin!
Which is my favorite thing to do as a DM.
Okay.
Making relatable villains.
The bigger thing is kind of what you guys were already aware of, right?
Yeah.
So whenever you were potentially going after the Swarm or Rejuvenor, they also made it seem like this attack on Absalon Station was the first thing that has ever happened with the Swarm.
Which is
what you're seeing on this board is there's been a lot more Swarm activity than you guys were privy to, which you seem to be on the leading edge for both the Swarm and Tohaak. So, either Rejuvenor has more information than the Pact World Council has, or the Pact World Council isn't giving all the information.
Why would a huge government body give us all the information?
Well, again, what if... I mean, we don't know if Rejuvenor is actually telling us the truth.
Can I share my thoughts here? So...
Before you share, I'm just going to replay the projection, but like 3/4 of the volume. I just want to see it again.
Oh.
You want me to reread it, or...
No. But just that's what John's...
Okay.
It says that Rejuvenor has replaced bits of his body with cybernetic elements.
Yeah, so if you remember last session, I forgot it in the recap. Gideon had mentioned part of the reason why Rejuvenor didn't get hit with the Void Decay, which they assume is a genetic reason, because it was the Tohaak family specifically, is that he had already taken a lot of cybernetic enhancements.
Right, okay. So, with his cybernetic enhancements, how closely do they resemble each other?
Well, I'm a full-on fucking robot, basically.
Not fully.
Well, I mean... I have meat inside, but I have an armored robot shell.
Well, even still, with the cybernetic elements that they both share, are they similar?
So, how we've portrayed John is that he... Meta-wise, he fits into the android category. Flavor and description-wise, he's basically just one of the robots that was on hand when Rejuvenor went to Avalon, and that's what he put John into. So he doesn't.
Robot.
He looks like K2SO.
Yeah.
So he doesn't look like a humanoid in any capacity. So like, there's no familiar resemblance. Tohaak looks like what you would expect from the paintings before. He looks mostly
not too far removed
from what you would have expected. The brothers, they look familiar. They're not twins, but there's enough familiar in the portrait. It's just you don't have a reference of what John or Michael would look like as an adult.
Okay, so alright. Okay, so this doesn't necessarily have to complicate anything.
Doesn't complicate anything.
Oh,
We're talking about going against the PWC or following a guy that we've been trying to track down this whole time to take down.
Hear me out. Yes. Regardless if Rejuvenor has been telling the truth or not about this message, we're going to have to go to this planet anyway.
The PWC is aware of what's going on. It did not tell us the full details. But it was another quest that they had sent us on. We had just gone over Rejuvenor first.
It could be possible that in the PWC's efforts to downplay the situation, they may not be fully aware of the swarm's activity on what's the planet?
Castroville.
Castroville.
What I'm getting at, regardless of Rejuvenor's full intentions, or regardless of the PWC's intentions, we can still complete all of our tasks while keeping everyone else happy. If we go to, you just said the name of that.
Castroville.
If we go to Castroville,
Are we going as friends or are we going as enemies?
we go as neutral to both parties. We will still go with the intention of eliminating the threat and regaining information for Rejuvenor. Whether that means siding with him or whether that means finding more information out, that's here to be seen. However, if we go there as neutral, we can still accomplish both tests. 2 birds, 1 stone.
I look at John and I say, are you capable of taking down your brother?
There's a bit of like radio silence for a minute. I think so, and I'll pick up both stacks of papers.
Well, he has it.
Oh, did you pick it up?
Yeah.
He
After
picked it up.
we have the discussion.
Okay, so
John, these were with the other devices.
I'll just grab it, and I'll just flip through. Notice the changes in both documents.
However, before we leave, regardless of what happens, we do need to take care of your baronhood.
Yeah, John. Also, are we bringing Gleam Gazer? As Sparks is like holding up like a fucking cracker, trying to like coax it out of its nest.
Yes.
we're not really thinking about taking this thing after it tried to attack us.
Listen, I have some experience with these things.
Where was that experience in battle?
I tried to reason with it. How do you
That does not equate to
how do you
experience.
how do you demand respect while I'm trying to kill it?
That's where your experience comes into play.
Hey, I'm a captain.
We're not really bringing this creature, are we?
I'm just saying.
To a neutral,
we just
possibly hostile environment to take down.
Well, I mean, that's one more member on the team, if you want to say it that way. I'm just saying, if we give it food, it will like us.
Yeah, food as
just-
in us. Are we gonna feed it sparks?
It's just like a dog. You give it a treat and it'll love you forever.
I'm a Lashunta, I don't know what a dog is.
I'm a Loshuta. I don't know what a dog is.
You're a historian.
Yeah, I
And I'm speaking of the fourth wall.
What is the process of? What is even the process of becoming a baron?
Is it in the paperwork?
Yes.
Talk to your butler.
Can I just like scan the document and just like read it instantly?
Yeah, so more or less it's like the formality of transferring the ownership of the title of Baron, and basically it entails owning the whole atoll and all of the industries associated with the Tohaak family. So like you would not only own this island, but the associated beach houses, mountain, and the servants. You would also have ownership of the Tohaak whiskey industry, as well as the Nakoi industry that they have established.
Do we want that?
Well, it's not a matter of we. But John wants this.
You guys.
If Rejuvenor ends up being our friend, then he'd be able to help in this.
But
But
wouldn't
if we end up having to kill Rejuvenor, if we leave this place to be abandoned, it's just going to.
Yeah, there's only 2 left of the Tohaak family.
But what about the council? Are they gonna be upset that we're taking claim?
We could.
There's as far as like legality, there's nothing illegal about anything that's happening on this island. So being the Baron of it has no
No.
negative impact as far as
May even give some slight political pull.
it's more whether or not John wants to accept what this means.
The red pill or the blue pill.
Or no pill.
You guys, I am deep down in my programming and circuits feeling a little unsure. I do know I have been able to come to trust both of you, and I will accept the baronship. It may be useful for us, and I feel like it might let me connect to a part of my life that might be missing.
So we're keeping the pet.
I would like to keep Gleam Gazer.
Okay. Which one are you signing?
Can I have a moment?
Yeah, I want to talk to you about the intricacies of smuggling.
Why don't you explain to me what a dog is in that corner of the cave?
Yeah.
I go into like the street term for dog, and it's absolutely not the animal, and it's just a behavior of humanistic tendencies. and we talk about the intricacies, and I'll ask I'll ask Raya about like
The
dogs,
classic misdirection.
dogs in history. Yeah, I don't know.
He's like, oh yeah, you've heard the term. You gotta have a dog in the game, like our dog in the
Literally
fight.
talking so much and none of it is making
Yeah,
sense.
it's all the classic misdirection.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
none of it's like relevant to the
Yeah,
conversation.
I heard once from the textbooks regarding when I was learning how to be a captain of it in dog fights. They don't call it that anymore. But, I mean,
Oh my god. Okay, we're in this corner.
Yeah.
now.
So I'll
Sparks is still over
Still
here
trying to
to feed this fucking creature that you guys have all confirmed feeds off of blood. Come here, dinosaur.
puppy want a treat. I'm just gonna kind of go over to the side here. And I'll just kind of start looking over the documents, and John is starting to realize that, just like himself, the world may not be what it seems on the inside. And yeah, so like I'll sign my name, Michael Tohaak, on the paper, on the documents, and then while they're in like the middle of the conversation, I'll throw the other pair of documents just like into the canal or the little river right here,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and just kind of watch it sort of like disappear into the water. And yeah, I'll sign the documents. I'll come back over. Okay, everything is signed, and I'll like put my like a little chest cavity pops open that I put my papers in and just kind of close it back up. The T's and I's have been literally crossed and dotted.
maybe this is too personal of a question. But with all this information that you have learned, you still wish to be called John.
You may call me John.
Okay, now how do we get that creature out of the hole?
Come on, pup. Come on, pup. I'll just
Come
like
to daddy!
come to daddy.
Are you using its name?
Gleam Gazer. Come on down. Yeah, GG.
Uh,
Yeah,
Referring to it by its name, it finally recognizes you as the authority of the atoll. It has been waiting the entire combat round for you to call it by its fucking name.
Quick mad question. You didn't mention the name during the flashback, did you? Oh, I thought so. That hurts worse.
That hurts
So
worse.
while we're on the topic, so how that worked is if you had gotten a 15 without damaging it, you would have passed.
Sure.
You would have had advantage if you called it by its name.
Sure.
But because you had damaged it,
Yeah.
increased the DC to
Yeah.
20.
No, it makes
and
sense.
Then, yeah. And then you never once called it by its name. So it's like, meta-wise, how this will work, I'll give you ownership of the creature. If you take it with you, you
Sure.
can use it in combat. It is a CR5 creature.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Speaking of which, you guys will level up following this.
Okay.
We don't have to do that tonight. Having finished the stuff in the cove, we can RP what we want here. Anything at the mansion, with you guys leveling up to 5, that will also give you an opportunity to work on the ship. So you could go to Verces to get additional things. There will be stuff here on the atoll to help upgrade the ship. Plus, you have the assistance of the servants there. But I'll
I
leave
was
it to
gonna
you
say
guys.
we own the planet. There's nothing
No,
there.
you own the island,
Oh, that's right.
not the
that's
planet. I'm not gonna give you guys that much power. Jesus Christ.
I know the rest of the planet is half of the planet is in
Honestly, 80%
So we
of
own
the
Yeah, I was
this
gonna
planet.
say,
strip.
it's not inhabited.
We own an island on the strip. We own the Florida Keys, but not Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as Verses goes, Baron John Smith, or how he's finding the safe paperwork, Baron Michael Tohaak, is pretty high up on the totem pole as far as the planet's concerned, and realistically in the Pact Worlds.
So does his diplomacy go up then? Technically,
Well,
for diplomacy checks.
I mean,
It depends on how much he puts into diplomacy.
I
obviously,
admire your fighting, your argument for it. But I don't think that's how it works.
How this would work is if he's using his Baron title in like a diplomacy check, he might be able to argue like an advantage or a plus to it depending on the situation. But as far as the numbers go, that's only going to be if he puts points into it on level ups.
I do have one thing I want to talk about in RP, but I'm honestly down to level up and work on the ship.
To be honest, I was looking more forward to the RP stuff, and if we got to the leveling up later,
Yeah, because
that would be fine. But that's me.
yeah, I want to leave it up to you guys because it is 10:30, so we're closing in on like when we had normally cut off. So if we wanted to RP,
I would
I
love
would
to
say
RP.
to do the RP.
Is that okay?
'Cause I think the level up and the ship, especially the ship work, is going to take a little bit more time.
No,
just
that's
'cause-
fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Should I just drop the? Should I just give Gideon these papers, or what do I need to do? I don't understand.
File your taxes.
File my taxes.
He is your master butler. I feel like if anyone,
I've got 3 years of back taxes.
if anyone would know what to do with it, it would be him. I do have a question for you, Mr. Baron. So, this enterprise that you have inherited, it could be of very strong financial benefit to us and the free captains.
You motherfucker. John doesn't say that. Yes, I am aware that we may have now more easy access to whiskey and necrotics, or narcotics. Narcotics. There we go.
Nequa is the drug itself.
Nequa, okay. But really, and maybe it's just my cynical disposition, but I don't really care It was nice to find out more information about my past life. However, I just don't know.
We'll talk later.
Can we
but-
finally get out of this cave?
Well, I assume we're having this on the walk back.
Yeah, like,
Maybe we've done a little bit of exploring, but basically from the moment we got here, we got our information, we had a meal, and we came here. Maybe it would be beneficial. Maybe go to your old room, or go to Tohaak's room. Explore the manor. If going to this cave was such a integral part of your childhood with Rejuvenor, it wouldn't be a bad idea to explore other avenues of which you may have shared time together.
will both of you come with me?
Of course.
Perfect. As you kind of make your way back up to
We go the other way and we all die.
the mansion, kind of like we talked about before.
We forget about the trap, and this is where the story ends.
Yeah, tunnel caves in.
As you guys kind of like make your way back up, it's uneventful. If anything, what I would say is as you activated the hull terminal, it would have also given you security override. So like you now have.
Oh, we should have gone through the computer before we left. Ugh!
Well, we're still here.
Yeah, you're still. You guys, I haven't hit it yet, but if you're going to work on the ship, you're going to have at least 3 days of downtime on the planet
Okay.
to retrofit the ship. So
That
like,
works.
you're going to have plenty of time to play on the atoll or the planet in general, just while the ship's being worked on. So, but you now have security of the cave, so like you can disable the laser traps as you see fit. You obviously know where the access panels are, so like there's no threat there unless you were intentionally
Booby
oblivious.
trapping it.
Gotcha.
It's pretty uneventful going back up. The big thing is we've talked about it before, but the planet's tightly locked. So like you went in what appeared to be midday. You landed on the planet at what appeared to be midday. You're leaving the cave after all of this, and it still looks like it's midday outside. So like it's almost disorienting because like you
circadian rhythm's off.
you have no clue what time of day it actually is based off of the solar orientation. As you make your way back up to the mansion, like we kind of talked about last session, you can see it kind of like in its pristine glory, these blue Victorian style mansion. You can see the second floor with like its outdoor like bar patio sort of set up. You can see the observatory in it. You've got the hedge work that has been meticulously put up with the Nyack. And as you kind of walk in, you'll see Gideon kind of waiting there in the foyer. Master John, did everything go well?
There's a slight stutter to the name because he's having a little bit of an identity crisis. Yes, everything went fine. Please take me to my old room.
Do you want the old room or the master? I assume if you've come back from the cave that's... I might presume you are now the Baron.
At which point my chest cavity kind of pops open, some steam kind of flies out, and I'll give Didion the documents.
Oh, am I to... As he's like flipping
And
through...
I'll just kind of like put my hand out to sort of silence any words that might come out of his mouth after that point.
As you say, sir. I am more than happy to take you to whichever room you want. This is yours now. If you'd like, we can take the whole tour. It is a little bit late, but I think, seeing as it's your relatively first time on Verces. It's a little unfamiliar with the time here, so.
And unfortunately, the circumstances and why we're here are also time sensitive. Please just take us to my room and Tohaak's room.
All right. As you guys are kind of led around, it reminds you of like that old sort of style Victorian. There's like spiral staircases. You've already been in the den with the large bookcases and the fireplace.
Do they have like that Beauty and the Beast style ladder that slides back and forth on
Yeah, because
wheels?
it's one of those like bookcases that goes all the way to the ceiling.
Cool.
The hallways, there's several rooms. You can tell at one point in time, there was probably 20 to 30 people that lived in the house.
Just like all the help and stuff?
All the help and just
Your family.
Right.
family.
Big
So
family.
like you can tell it's like the old like plantation style where like
Gotcha.
multiple generations would live in the
Gotcha.
same. Yeah.
Okay.
And you get the impression that probably like the cousins and stuff are the ones that were using the beach houses down below. As you get into some of the rooms, the first room you're shown, you can see a portrait that looks similar. It's the brother that doesn't look like Tohaak, so it would be what John looked like as a kid in this room. You can see there's decorations that kind of vary as he shows you both of these rooms that vary each room. But each room is kind of set up the same way. There's a large bed with an attached bathroom. There's also a desk with a built-in computer and holo projector. Every room that he's shown you also has the same blackout curtains that you saw in the den to kind of allow people to sleep, since it always looks like it's middays. The final room that he's going to take you to, which is the one that Rejuvenor had set up in during the last, is the master bedroom in the mansion. This one has multiple rooms connected together, one of which has a large bathroom. One of them is a small living room with a fireplace, couch, armchairs, and a table in it. And then the bedroom portion is an equivalent to a California king with a hand-carved bed frame. In the carving, you can see there's Nyax.
I knew you were going to say something like that. I was waiting for it.
Yeah, you can see there's Nyax carved into the wood, as well as
Cool.
depictions of both the whiskey and like the Naqua refinery. Basically, it's showing what made the family wealthy carved into the bedposts.
Cool.
The bathroom contains a large hot tub and is decorated with teal tile.
If you wouldn't mind, could you give us the room?
As you wish. And they'll kind of back out. To give you a perspective, Gideon is of Rathani, so he's got the longer arms and everything, but he's in like 100% butler attire. Kind of like the bow tie. Like
Does he have the
the
coattails?
petticoat with like a pocket watch. And, yeah.
When the door closes, I'll turn around and I'll just take it in. Anything.
Anything addition or
Just like, does something spark? Am I in Tohaak's room right now? And is that about it?
so the master would have been your parents' room.
Oh.
Tohaak or Rejuvenor was using this
Right.
during his last
Well,
part.
I guess. Well,
Would anything spark
Yeah,
for
I-
him though? Would
Give
he
me
know?
a mysticism check at advantage. And you're
All
like,
right.
man, I fucking knew it.
here we go.
Stop.
Advantage. I rolled in that one.
Oh, perfect.
10. It's okay.
And this is kind of like we had discussed
Yeah.
meta-wise on like how we wanted to approach.
Yeah, no. I'm about it.
Uh,
I just had to ask.
It's one of those. As you've kind of perused the mansion behind Gideon, you get the feeling, and it's not just because you've interacted with Gideon so much here recently. You feel like you know Gideon. As you're going down the halls, you feel like you know this mansion, and like you'll find yourself occasionally like you'll turn without Gideon leading the way, like you already knew the direction
Instinctually.
to go. but you don't know why, and you can't place any particular memory.
I like the idea of like maybe faintly hearing the sound of children laughing.
Right.
Okay.
I almost mentioned that, but
Okay.
I didn't want to get.
No.
Yeah.
It's lost in the Program 86 files.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a like embedded in a deeper file pack.
Can you describe Raya's demeanor?
Right now?
Yeah. With
As
all
you guys are being led around.
with all this like new information, especially from the Cove, like has your demeanor changed at all?
I think I would just feel more pity. Honestly, I would just feel bad because in my history books, I probably realized, like, with the architecture, you guys probably came from a huge family. And us having that personal conversation a few planets back, I'm probably just feeling, like, very sad for you. And, like, I don't know.
It's probably important for us to have a conversation about this point. I am very confused. At first, this was just about money for me, and then it slowly turned into curiosity, quickly evolving into obsession. And now I'm feeling more confused than I was before. What happens if Tohaak... I'll just pause. Rejuvenor... doesn't have such a bad cause after all.
Are we willing to go against the committee?
It seems like they lack evidence on the swarm and on Rejuvenor as a whole. If we are able to find solid evidence of the contrary, I would be willing to stand trial with you, John.
But what if I am put in a situation where evidence isn't taken into consideration? You are the only people I have ever made friends with in my life. And I am scared that I will... I just can't pause on that.
John, my loyalties seem questionable at times, and I get that. At the end of the day, though, you need to make the decision that will let you sleep best at night. We are your friends, so I will be here with you depending on what you choose.
Feeling a little, volatile. How can you say that? You're a captain who didn't go down with his ship.
While this beautiful moment is happening, I'm now looking at John, looking for the off switch.
Oh shit! Do I have an off switch?
About to find out. So while this is happening, I'm slowly like,
Yeah, with your technomancer eyes.
mm-hmm.
That's a fair point. All I can really do to convince you of the contrary is my actions going forward. I changed my path to follow Besmore, and I have been with you from every instance upwards.
If you think about it, our intentions may have changed, but our actions haven't. We're still chasing Rejuvenor.
That's what I tried to mention in the cove. Honestly, not to make light of your problems, our course hasn't changed. Regardless of what happens with Rejuvenor or with the PWC, we know where we must go next.
And we can't stop now. We know way too much.
I must know more. Casterfrank?
Castroville.
Castroville is the next stop, I think. And I hope at the end of this journey I might find some solace.
You will, John. On our way there, though. It may be beneficial to upgrade our ship. Although we may fly the Free Captain's flag, we can't depend on their protection so close to a dangerous territory.
We have the resources now on this planet,
We
though.
have the resources.
Yes, maybe I should take some time to clear my databanks and potentially my cache.
I was just about to say that. That's funny. Maybe all you need is a break. You've been going non-stop with new information. Enough time to let your CPU cool down.
T says that very unconfidently.
Do you make it obvious that you're looking me down? Just out of curiosity.
Probably not.
Okay, that's
not
fine.
towards you, at least.
That's fine. That's fine. I won't notice it then. Yes. But what will Agnes think? You know, my girlfriend. Okay, maybe this is a bad time for jokes.
Maybe you should talk to her. She's of a like mind to yours, and may be able to relate to you on a deeper meaning than
On an artificial level.
I didn't want to be the one to say it.
You guys, I am scared and confused, and I just want to be me. But being me is complicated.
You're still John. You're still going by John. So nothing has really changed other than you still being John.
Whether you
Right.
whether you go by John or by Michael, what Raya said, you are still who you are, and you need to decide who that is.
Well, he's already decided he's John.
Right.
He's still John.
I was mainly in the sense of figuring out what to do, Raya.
It's hard to feel like John when I know now, beyond a reasonable doubt, that I wasn't always John. And I don't know how to feel about that.
Well, your past self doesn't matter as much as your now self.
The future is in front of us. The past is behind us. But that's why they call it the present, because it's a gift. You must live in it.
If I didn't, if I didn't know what you were quoting right now,
That was a full route from Code Through 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like picturing as he's like grabbing the pizza. You know what I mean?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh wait,
I'm
that's
sorry.
an old Galarian quote.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Okay. Maybe we should take some time here, upgrade our ship, and go find out what the fuck is happening with the swarm on Calistray.
Gastroville.
Nashville. God damn it.
We need something that lights up to let us know what planet we're on at all times.
We need like audio cues.
Yeah.
It's like the teleprompter.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the meantime, do you know what we feed your pet? As I'm pointing to it as it's laying on the floor in front of the door.
Oh, did you guys bring it up with you?
Well, I mean, sure, why the fuck not?
I mean, we coaxed it down out of the nest.
That part is to be determined because if you really think about it, it requires blood. And blood only typically comes from creatures that are alive. And I can only imagine there are very few creatures in this universe that are be willing to give such of a sacrifice.
Well, T keeps comparing it to a dog, and he says something about raining dogs. Just make sure it doesn't rain in this room.
That's a good point.
Oh my god. Sarah.
I have an idea.
You gonna roll up a newspaper?
He puts some newspaper out.
Yeah.
Just keep it in this corner, John.
Well, if we're going to be upgrading our ship, maybe we could add a larger capacity bay and get livestock.
Yes. That sounds sufficient.
But I'm not taking care of them.
That's where Agnes comes in. I'm sure she'll be thrilled to be dealing with a creature on the ship. Just nods.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't know if T's interactive with Agnes.
No.
Not really.
T has a hard enough time interacting with John. And John can, is more relatable in, the sense that he's not completely artificial.
Although sometimes, it is fun playing Agnes because, her speech pattern is more human than
Right, that's right. I don't know about you guys, but I have a cherry on top thing that I kind of wanted to do before we ended the session.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say what I say to be what ends the session. So if you guys got something,
I don't have anything else.
After a minute of kind of chilling in the master bedroom, whenever I get a single amount of time to myself, I'm just going to pick up some mangled piece of metal and just carve the name Michael into my robotic red forearm.
Like Andy in Toy Story?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. Well, when we pick up next session, we will go over your guys' downtime here on the Aurora Atoll. What do you guys do with the beach houses? What do you do with the mansion? How you retrofit the OMAG leading to your trip to Castrovel.
Wow.